never gonna have an intro that is better than that.
Sounds real lo-fi though.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Fast and Furious in Review. That's right. Each and every Fast and Furious movie ranked and reviewed by us. Kind of Funny. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez with his little chocolate milk.
And he just burned himself with his own spoon.
It's so hot.
With his own spoon.
Kevin Coelho, Greg Miller, and Nick Scarpino.
Hello. How are you, Tim?
I love you so much for having just a 2-liter of Diet Coke.
Well, I wasn't gonna make a big joke that I was eating Nolan North and Troy Baker's bacon, but these fucking savages next to me reached in like they haven't eaten in months.
It's so good.
And then I kind of
Right
felt good.
before the show began,
Yeah.
I was walking to the bathroom, and Nick goes, "You gonna pee?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Cool." Jumps in, shuts the door, goes, "I'm pooping."
You're the worst.
Fuck you and fuck your bacon.
Why are you so awful?
I don't know. But I think you two bring it out in me. I really
Why?
do. It's the two of you.
You take
Me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Me?
Bone carnival.
They call me.
That thing terrified me this morning. I walked in, I was like, "Who's in the kitchen?" And then I looked over the bar. I was like, "It's
sitting there?
that fucking
It just got
terrifying
cool,
thing."
too.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, it scared the shit out of me this morning.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kind of Funny's Fast and Furious in Review every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We get together to review one of these movies. You can get it as a podcast on podcast services around the globe. Just search for Kind of Funny Reviews, or you can watch it on YouTube later, youtube.com/kindoffunny. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Thank you very much for everything. Today we are talking about Fast 5.
Yeah.
Finally, we made it here, baby.
Oh man.
Family's real.
You know what? Honestly, it's been a hell of a ride. I've enjoyed all of it so far. Shocking.
Strap in,
It's
buckle
shockingly.
up.
It's very interesting watching this movie because this is basically modern Fast and Furious now. With the rare exception of The Rock, I don't think has quite nailed this character in this.
No.
Like he's still trying to play a character. And then at some point,
Thank God he's wet, though.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah. He's so
I want
sweaty.
to. If I had a little bit more time this week, I was going to do a chart of saturation levels for The Rock this entire movie.
Sure.
Because he starts off glistening.
Yeah.
Not a little wet, like he's glistening beautiful, and then immediately goes to saturated, just drenched.
At the end, he's got droplets, just full on droplets on him.
It's like someone's above.
It's hot in Rio.
But no one else is sweating.
No
that
one
much.
else.
They're all. I mean, this is the one
They're
where
all
Vin Diesel
acclimated.
fully commits to the linen. So yeah, you know
He
what I
does,
mean.
man. He goes in,
Oh
and
my
they
God.
even like comment on it. I love it so.
There's
fucking
also
much.
a moment where Vin Diesel tries to smile, and it's endearing.
Give it to me. You gave it to me on Internet Explorer. Thank you.
It kind of looks. It's a combination
He
of
doesn't know
happy,
how.
really angry,
Doesn't know
and constipated a little bit, and maybe baby's hungry. You know, it's that kind of thing.
That's why
Fast
him.
5 released on April 29th, 2011. Directed by Justin Lin once again. Budget of $125 million. A substantial increase from the last couple. Box office of $626.1 million. Also a substantial increase. A runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Way too long.
Oh my God. And
Way too long. This movie.
I agree.
it's just a fantastic movie.
Great
We're
movie.
going to avoid
Too long.
future spoilers. So remember that. We're not talking about Fast 6, 7, or 8.
What about 9?
No.
Okay.
No. Greg.
Sorry, Hobbs and Shaw.
Now it's time for the plot.
Plot, 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 plot.
Everybody! Plot, 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 plot,
Great
plot.
movie. Audio list. Guys, there's one or two people that just started listening to this podcast on this
Oh,
episode.
I'm gonna jump in on Fast 5. Fuck you. Turn it off and listen to something else. Wow. Fast 4 ended with Dom Toretto. The old butcher of Butcher's Bay with a wrench. He was in jail car. They were in the jail car taking him to jail.
A mobile jail bus.
And all these other guys there, they were jail guys too.
Yep.
And they were just on this car going to jail.
Yeah. It's a bus, actually.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
jail
car,
bus.
more of a gigantic
And
bus.
what
it was a
happened?
sedan.
The
Yeah.
old family, the fam as Dom calls them, Dom's fam. 3 letters in Dom, 3 letters in fam. They came roaring up behind
Mac.
it.
You're up against the wall.
They came fucking flying in, and then we got the smile from Vin Diesel, and it was credits. This movie picks up right there.
Right there. What a great
So good.
decision. I fucking love it, man.
And it's exactly
Great
what you'd
action
expect,
scene.
right? It's all sort. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna swoop in. It looks like how we used to steal his trucks in Fast 1, but we're using cars, and we're just gonna steal a Dom instead. And so they go in, not like a dominatrix, like Dom Toretto. If I say Dom in this, it's Dom Toretto.
Okay.
They swoop in there. They start doing moves. The driver's like, oh, it's all panicking. What? And then the big plan is just to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
Paul Walker just slams on the brakes, right? And they hit him and the fucking cartwheel's over.
Man,
Weird-
let me tell you,
weird thing.
when they cut back to that bus in the newsfeed,
they're dead.
They're all dead.
Except
that
for
thing that has decapitated everyone.
The news
They
reporter
made a
is
point.
like,
Only
and
one got away.
miraculously nobody died.
yeah, I know. They're like, we found everyone. Nobody escaped except for one person. I'm
Shockingly,
like,
no deaths. And I was like, oh, good way to work around
Good
that,
way,
Justin
good
Lin.
way.
And you're like, awesome. These guys won't kill anybody in this movie. No, they kill a lot of fucking
But
people.
seriously, why did they decide to go so hard with that bus plan? Where it's like I feel like they could have made anything else.
here's the thing. I like this movie, but upon rewatching it, there's a lot of things in this that make no sense, right? Like we're gonna get to the next scene where, well, not the next, but the next big action piece, and there's a lot of leaps of logic here that you just gotta go, you know what, fuck it, it's Fast Five, who cares?
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're doing great.
Real quick, I just want to say it's interesting rewatching them. It's like, man, these guys are bad people.
Yeah. I mean,
they're
case
just
in point-
bad people. They're murdering
They're bad guys?
random strangers. At one point, they get a vote through a bank,
Oh, yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like,
Oh, they killed some people.
"You went through a bank full of people."
Yeah.
Full of
They're all
people.
dead.
They
Those
all
are
ran
innocent
away.
A lot of people are dead on
Yeah.
the streets of Rio.
We saw them run away, though. They're totally fine.
Everyone's fine.
Also,
Justin Lin said so.
yeah, there's a lot of bad cops in Rio, but we know for a fact
There's one good.
There's at least one good, and like they're killing cops indiscriminately.
Oh, they're killing a lot of cops.
Yeah,
Indiscriminately.
there's got to be a percentage that are not crooked. Like we got to
just
assume
like,
that.
oh, hey, everybody's chasing these people.
And
You
we
got to
should
chase
probably
too.
get in there.
Tyrese is fucking.
And then mocking them.
Yeah.
But the
As
thing
he
is,
murders them.
I feel like they go out of their way to make sure that they have a lot of lines of dialogue to be like,
Bases are
every
covered.
crooked cop is following. It's
Yes,
like, okay, so
that's true.
it's just the bad one.
It just makes okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Sure,
suspend
sure.
the disbelief for that one.
It's fine. They get, yeah, as you said, nobody's dead. Only one prisoner is missing. It's Dominic Toretto. Oh my God! And they're after now his accomplices, Brian O'Connor and Jordana Brewster. They call her that. It was weird.
I think got new teeth in this or something because her smile was so big the entire movie, and I
She was
couldn't put
happy,
my
man.
finger.
She was
What's
happy.
happening
She was
in this?
He's
finally
never seen
legal.
her that
A
happy.
baby in
Finally
the first
happy.
act goes
Oh
off
right,
in the
I
third.
forgot she was only 15 when the series started, and Brian O'Connor was.
Hey, can we
committing
talk about how
statutory.
fucking hot the title screen was? When that thing just goes, bah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, dude.
It was nasty.
We're in for a wild ride
It was nasty.
today, ladies and gentlemen.
So from there, we jump down to Rio de Janeiro. All right, Brazil, as they say it. How do you know? Big old statue of Jesus there looking down.
J. Christ.
And I feel like this is where we need to fall back and talk about our Lord and Savior. Jesus, of course, the Son of God.
Loves
all
the
right?
Brazilians, loves the Portuguese.
He was born to the Virgin Mary.
Yep.
Right. This is what we call the Immaculate Conception. Maybe I need to start further back. Adam and Eve start in the Garden of Eden. Right?
Gonna be a long one today, everyone.
Right.
Strap in.
So we go on there, Big JC looking down on
Corinthians
everybody
2:4.
like, look at all my shit.
What if, by the way, like Rio is just such a fucking cool place to film anything. What a talk
Did you
about
know
a city
most
that
of
has
it
a
was
lot of
actually
character.
filmed in Daly City, though?
I'm pretty sure a lot of it was filmed in LA.
Yeah,
but that's
no,
okay.
true, too. So we're there, and it's Brian and Mia. They're driving through the streets in a beater, just a beat up old car, not their normal cars. They clearly have been on the run, but they're happy because Mia's doing that thing where she's stroking the back of Brian's head. I love that when Jen does that. I'm like, I buy it. They're in love. That's what you do to people you love. You know what I mean? You only do this to the people you love.
Wow.
And they pull up to some random house. They start walking up. It's all sorts of machine guns
We're
and shotguns
in a
and shit.
favela. Is that what they call it?
Favela.
Favela. That's what they call it.
And who do we see walking?
Vince is alive,
Big
everybody.
Vinny, baby. Let's go.
He calls Brian a buster because
Hell
he
yeah.
remembers the buster.
Throwback.
Still being
What's
too
it-
handsy
how's
with
it
Mia.
feel being on the other side of the law?
Wanted
Poster, yeah. He's like, well, apparently we haven't eaten in 6 months.
They get some food and they fucking
Because
start
they are
hitting
housing
down. They
this food.
hungry.
Really hammering home the fact they've been on the run, don't even have time to eat. Can't even stop for a bag of sunflower
Well,
seeds.
you eat that, but
or
I mean,
a
like, what
string
do you-
cheese in the back of an Uber.
That's
like, cool,
not
Greg.
clearly this rice dish they were eating. You know
That's
what I
not,
mean?
yeah.
That's what they want. So they're eating there. Vince has got a family now. He's got a little kid, Dommy or whatever the fuck his name was. I don't know. Nico. Cousin.
Hey, my cousin Nico Bailey.
Hey, let's go bowling, eh?
He's got the scar,
So
too.
he's got the scar on his arm. You can see it. Brian's drinking some beers as they do. They're out there. They're talking up. Where's Dom? Nobody's heard from Dom. Nobody knows what's up with Dom. Oh, no. God, where's
We're
Dom?
on the run. It's been hard. We're
split
out of
up.
money.
We all split out.
We're all out of money, clearly. We just
we're
don't
all
have
out
any
of
money at all.
Vince is like, well, guess what? I got a job. It's super easy. We're just going to get some cars. And Brian's like, oh, he's like, you guys look like you could use a payday. And I'm like, oh, man, nobody uses the word payday enough if you ask me. Yeah, we could use a payday. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, Jordana Brewster's like, blah, blah, fucking barfing her fucking brains out. No wonder she's so hungry. She can't keep anything down.
also
She's
eating
got
for
a
two.
baby in her
She got one of
uterus.
them babes.
Now let me explain how this works.
how does it
When
work?
God created Eve, right? One Adam rib, threw it over there, woman grows.
Chili's baby back.
Rather than give her a penis, he gave her a vagina. Inside is the uterus and the fallopian tubes. If you've ever seen the Longhorns
Yeah. The Lamables.
from Texas, the University of, that's what this all kind of looks like, right?
Yeah.
And sperms
The
go up
general
there and they're
idea.
like, boo, 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 and eggs come down every so often.
really hope
There's a
that-
question mark there. I'm not sure.
Bing bong.
Maybe once, maybe twice a month. We don't know. We don't know how
I
it works.
really hope some little kid is not in their like parents' car right now, be like, "Oh, okay, so that's how it happens, huh?"
No, I didn't even talk about the ejaculation, right? Now, let's think. When you think about ejaculation, kids,
You think of a
imagine
pulsating
someone
dick.
putting a penis
All
up,
walkers.
up the Longhorns mascot outline,
Just right
and
in its
then,
mouth.
like
not how it
Ghostbusters 2
works.
slime cannons,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
plaster in the walls.
No.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's
Your love lifting me higher.
The penis does not go into the uterus. Let's make
Ah,
that
it's a
clear.
vagina.
Reaches the
Yeah.
wall of the upper liver.
All right.
Anyways, she's
The liver's like up here.
she's prego, and Vince's baby mama knows it. You know, have you told Brian? No, I haven't told Brian. Well, no big deal. We're gonna do this one job. We're gonna get some money. Great. They go to bed, and while they go to bed, Vince goes outside. And good enough. They go somewhere. They fuck off. Vince comes outside and he hears that roar. You know, that Hemi 8, I assume. I don't know. It's a car.
is a car.
When you hear a fucking room, you know that's Dominic Toretto. All right, that's Dom. Dom is there to fuck shit up, and we just get a smile. Then we jump over there, and we're doing it's a train. There's a train going.
Now, here's where I
Mia-
want to stop because this job. What was so bad about this job? This is the question I had the entire time I saw this.
You don't
because
fuck with the DEA when you're on the
they
road.
go in, they discover these are DEA cars,
La Dea.
right? And they're shocked by the fact that the cars that they're stealing, they're committing a crime. What does it fucking matter who the cars are from? And then we get this amazing shot where they get like
Blowtorch
they
it.
blowtorch
They
the wall,
blowtorch it.
and it's cool and it whips off. With the
Yeah.
wind.
Almost
And we
killed
see, of
him.
course,
Very scary.
Unexpected.
Dom for the first time is like
Dominic.
Reveal.
and then he goes, "You guys made the wrong call. This job's bad."
Shitty call.
And then do they ever really explain how Dom knows it's a bad job and why they shouldn't
It's
have
a
done
Vince
this?
job.
He's like,
Dom knows
this
Vince
is
is
a
an
wrong
idiot.
call, and they're like, we're criminals. We rob people. It's dangerous.
They
Like,
didn't show the scene, but I'm sure Dominic did the detective mode and was like, "Oh, something here ain't right."
He said, Vince is like, Vince is like looking over his shoulder, smiling. He sees Vince, and then he sees him like walk backwards in and get on a phone and call him in, and like radio waves are bouncing
but
around.
this is the biggest problem I have with this scene. I didn't realize this the first time I watched it, but they basically are assholes to these people that hired to do this job and totally double cross them and steal the car. It's
Yeah.
their fault that all this shit happens.
Yeah.
They're bad guys.
Yeah.
Kevin's right.
Yeah.
They're not
100%.
good. The other guy's like, "What are you doing?" The bad guy, it's like the guy that mysteriously lives
Survives
through every
everything.
single fucking encounter.
Everything, man.
What's
It's
his
like,
name?
yo, just give me the car. Like, we hired you to give me the car, and
We're
you're not
calling
giving me the
Remy.
car.
And he wanted that specific car, so they're
Yeah.
like, oh, there
Ladies
must be
first.
something
It must
in
be
the
this car. Or we could just get paid and go about our business. This
Right?
whole thing we could have just pulled this job. That's
Yeah.
all we could have done.
Vince has psychic detective powers. This guy's invulnerable. Clearly, like, this is the second superhuman that we've encountered in the series.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. That's fantastic.
Bullet
I-
holes everywhere.
I want to give a
Bullet pops
shout out to Vince's and Vince and Friends' little, like, very specific use vehicle.
Sure.
Oh,
But
that
it's just
cool, like
how the fuck do they have something like, okay,
That's dope,
this
though.
one job we have to get cars out of a train, we have the perfect utility vehicle.
awesome.
for that.
It was just like a
like a
It was
tow.
just a truck.
like
Yeah,
a
a tow
flatbed.
truck, yeah.
It was a stake bed, but
But,
with a
like, they had,
cool
like, lances
pneumatic
and stuff.
fucking thing that was dope. It shot the car over. And by the way, those cars are amazing. Those
They were so
UV40s are
cool.
dope.
Oh yeah,
as
they
fuck.
just all hit and just drive over a million cactuses, no
Yeah.
problem. You know what I mean?
A car that, by the way, is a highly tuned race car, probably worth millions of dollars
Riding in the
apiece,
desert, totally
and
fine.
approximately an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
Would have just had a great time and all that dirt, rocks, cactus, all that shit, but I digress. Not at least the fact that when they drop off, they
Rattlesnakes.
fucking eat shit
Yeah.
into the ground every single time, and they just drive off into no roads, just up into the hills
Hey, well, they're going to need
like
roads,
horses.
man.
Yeah.
What a fucking cool action scene, though.
This scene
whole
is
thing.
one of the
So
most
cool.
the more memorable scenes, and it's because of the ending, right? So the DEA agents come, and I guess we have to kill them. And I think Dom was going to kill one of them.
Remy, no, it's just Remy's the one who kills him. You know what I mean? Dom would have talked it out.
At one point, Dom's looking at the DEA agents coming through and revs the engine like
Yeah,
he's about to
he's gonna
slam
hit
the
him with
car
the
into
car.
him. And then again, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like, "You caused all this because we could have just probably stole these cars and got away, but you guys had to make this kerfuffle." Shoots him. He lives somehow. I don't know how. The big snake bed thing comes slamming through and should have killed him, but the guy's like, "I'm okay." Just brushes himself off.
Well, there's a deleted scene where he put on the DEA agent's clothes and walked back the other way, like, guys, it's bad in there. You gotta check it out. And then he ran up and he put on the conductor's clothes and he stopped the train.
Something that blew my
And then he
mind.
put on a cactus clothes instead.
Andy, can you hit me with the facts of the Furious?
I already forgot the theme song.
Is it the facts?
We got information if you're curious. So here's the facts of the Furious. Facts of the Furious. Nah, we're good, guys. We're getting there.
The
We'll
stunt-
get there by part 7.
The stunt involving the flatbed truck slamming into the moving train was filmed practically without the use of miniatures or CGI. The collision nearly derailed the train, as can clearly be seen.
Yeah.
They just fucking did
They
that.
just did it. They just did it.
That is awesome.
My Amazon X-ray told me at the beginning that, yeah, I guess there had been blowback from the last one or one of the other ones. And Justin Lin was like, we have to do everything that can be done practically.
It was the mountain.
It was the caves.
No,
People
right,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
caves,
yeah, yeah. I
It
forget
was
the
a lot
movie. I
of
should
those,
watch
right.
it out.
What a great fuck you, though.
This scene, although it makes zero sense, is one of the coolest scenes in the entire series. And it's largely because of this ending part where Paul Walker jumps onto the back of Dom's car.
Oh, yeah.
And
Barehanded.
you see it, you think, okay, it's going to be another one of those moments where Dom like pulls the wheel over to the left and we
Yeah.
skid all the way to the left, and he looks at it, gauges that he doesn't have time, and just guns it. And you hear O'Connor like go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like, and he just stops.
awesome.
And I remember seeing this scene in the theater, going, "What a fucking awesome way to do
So
it!"
cool.
Just call it like it is, man. Right off, and you see them both just kind of look for a second, and then he just lets go.
It's a
Jumps off.
great
Dude,
fucking scene.
It's a cool scene.
both
I'm in
jump.
bed at like
Yeah, they both just
3
jump out.
p.m.
That's how it works.
I'm in bed at like 3 p.m. It's fucking daylight, but I'm just like in my jammies watching this shit in my room. And audibly saying out loud several times, "Let's fucking go, dog!"
Yeah.
Like
Right? That was
so
cool.
many times,
Yeah.
dude. This movie rules.
I
This
said,
is-
oh shit, so many times.
So they obviously land in the fucking water.
Yeah.
Right.
And
luckily,
you think they're gonna when they went over the thing, practically you think they got a parachute. They got a parachute in this car. They're gonna parasail. There's another car driving with a rope. They're gonna grab onto. No, they just all fall in the water. Like I think that would kill you, but whatever. They jumped at the last second.
but this is the movie they all become superheroes.
It's like an elevator, right? Where if you can time it right. Right, if an elevator falls
jump up.
1,000 floors
Yep,
and
you
you
jump up.
jump at the last second, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? That's
Dad,
how it works.
don't do
That's
that.
how it works. Don't do any of it.
Try it tonight.
He comes up though, and they're caught. Guess what? No. No.
Bad news.
Yeah, Remy's boys are there.
Reyes.
You know what I mean? And Remy's like, you don't fucking steal from us and do all this shit. So they take him back to HQ, bad guy HQ.
Where'd you get
I think
Remy
it's
from?
Reyes.
We needed a name, and I said Remy because this guy's
Remy
a zero,
LaCroix.
like
Isn't
Remy
that a
Zero, the guys
porn
who sang the
star?
Smallville song.
Went to my high school.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
You went to high school with a porn star? That's
Did.
cool.
Yeah. Remy. It's not LaCroix. It's doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, they get dragged off to the bad guy HQ, and they're hung by their hands. They're handcuffed up there, and they're hung, and it's like, oh, this is fucking brutal shit right here.
Yeah,
right?
honestly,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, I really am happy I'm not them right
And
now.
then here comes the guy from Too Fast, Too Furious with a rat. He's like, I'm
You guys remember me, cabron?
Yeah. So then Remy's boss walks in. He's all pissed off about this. He wants the car. All right, give me the car. Where'd they take the car? Give me
Right.
the car. And like, we're not gonna tell you shit about where Mia took the car. And he's like, well, I hear your sister's pretty beautiful, right? And I'm gonna fucking kill her. Like, if you don't do this. And that's when Paul Walker does like, he like fucking
Yeah.
moves around because that got him.
But you
up until
can't.
this point.
But Paul Walker, you can't show weakness like that.
I know,
You
right?
can't show that it bothers you. You gotta be like, I don't even know. What
I
you're
don't
talking
even
about.
care about that woman.
Who is that?
You know what I mean?
You know?
I'm in love with Dominic Toretto. Put
Yeah.
me face to face with him so I can kiss
Let
him.
me kiss him.
Let me show you our love.
There's a lot of problems I have with this movie upon second watching. This is one of those, right? This is a great moment of tension that could have been like, hey, we're about to torture you, and then the main characters have to use their smarts or some level of skills to get out of this. Instead,
practice
Reyes
for
is like
this.
this. Well, I'm going to torture you if you don't tell me where this car is. Not right now, though. I got to go to dinner. I'm just going to bounce out for like 20 minutes.
He doesn't do the torturing. He's got a torturing
But
guy. That's the
why
guy that
would you?
stays.
But like,
He delegates.
This whole thing made zero sense. And then Dom, just in a show of strength, just busts out of
Well,
so
no. Remember,
cool.
like I said, they practiced this because Paul Walker gave him the look like, oh, they have a plan. And Paul Walker's plan was like to kick the guy and like fucking put his feet in his face so he couldn't shoot. And then Vin Diesel's like, rah! Just rips it off.
There's a lot of disappointing factors in this movie, and a lot of the scenes that could have been cool, they just kind of gloss over a lot of the shit. And it's this. I was like, what? He just bursts out. He just rips out of the cuffs.
It's one of those things where it's like we know where we're gonna get to. Let's just fucking get to the next thing.
But that's the biggest problem with this movie is it's an hour of random filler scenes with a couple cool action scenes like booking and ending them, and that's pretty much it. Like by the way, this I was looking at it. I don't think we see another scene of like action for like another 45 minutes. At one point,
Gotta get the team
they're just
together.
going through the fucking thing, and that has zero payoff, by the way, because they're trying to drift around corners and shit.
It
They're like,
takes them 3 scenes to figure out they need invisible cars.
cool. And then they don't really end up utilizing that plan at all.
I love it because they get the cop cars.
But they get the cop cars and then they paint them black.
You got to
And it's
show
like,
the
well,
struggle.
why'd you get the cop cars?
Did they paint them black?
No.
Yeah, weren't there those black cars at the end that they used?
They do. There's
Yeah.
Those
they
weren't
use
the
they
cop
use
cars,
black.
right?
They were
those
the
are
cop
the
cars.
But they
Dodge
still use.
Chargers.
They
And they
still
also
use
use
cop
cop cars.
cars.
Yeah, they
Well,
still.
some of them.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
2 cop cars and 2 painted black cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
Either way, there's
So
just a
you're
lot
right,
of
they did.
extraneous things in here in this movie, and a lot of scenes that I was just like, these aren't really playing out the way I want. There's a lot of
So-
dialogue that was just like, cool, we're putting these characters on screen together, and that's the whole point of this. But we're
They
not
bust
giving them anything
out.
to say.
They
I
run
love
back to
that.
Mia. All right,
I think it's
Mia's there.
terrible.
The car's there. Oh my God, they're after us now. This is bad. What do we do? There's something they want in this car. What do they want in this car? Let's figure it out. So they start taking apart the car, trying to figure out what they want. And eventually they pull out this little chip in the back of the stupid ass thing.
GPS.
Yeah. Well, it's like a computer. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's just your dashboard.
It's
Pre-Tesla
a deck
Tesla.
with a TV on it.
Yeah, exactly. And they open that up, and guess what? It's all drug houses, and there's lots of money there, and this is his entire operation on one thing.
What was the point of this again?
So we knew where the money
No,
was.
I understand
that's
that,
where he
but
smuggles his
what is
drugs.
the practical application of keeping your entire list of where all your money is in the back of a fucking like radio on a
Last
car?
place anybody would look,
Quickly get away.
except
In
The
the
Rock.
back place,
Couple scenes. from
except for the DEA, who clearly took the car into custody and was
Sure,
like,
sure.
"This is a drug dealer's car because it's one of 10 of these in the world."
That's true, too. That's
This
true,
made
too.
no sense. I was like, "What? There's a chip in the back of this thing, and that's where he keeps all his bank accounts."
Yeah.
Seems like maybe a thumb drive up your ass would be a little bit easier for like people to find. You know,
This just isn't the movie where you question logic.
Yeah,
Nick.
don't-
You know,
that's
you
your
just
In the
mistake.
same way Paul Walker let go of that car, we need
Yeah.
to let go of our
But
suspension.
this is the biggest
Forget
problem I have
everything,
with this
you know?
movie is that there's so many of these moments where you're like, what? Like what? Why would that be anything?
just
But I guess it
gotta
doesn't really matter because the
forget
next scene
what
we've
you
seen
know.
is where they introduce Hobbs, right?
The
Are we gonna
Rock,
get to Hobbs at some point?
Dwayne Johnson.
sweating.
Yeah, why not? We'll just put it in.
How do they get that introduced? Someone's like,
Well,
oh,
they're
there's
like-
cops after you, and there's this one cop, and
Well,
you don't understand who this is.
No,
Who
I think
introduces
what
that?
happens is on the news they're like they killed these
Yeah.
DEA agents,
Right.
And they're like, oh no, they're gonna send their best.
And he's like, we just went to public enemy number 1, Dom. Been working on
But
my
he
Paul
knows
Walker.
this guy because he's like, this guy's all Old Testament, real biblical. Even though he's not, he doesn't say anything about that. He's just very like wrath of God.
You're
but-
just quoting Ghostbusters here, but yeah.
That's what that guy, at one point, O'Connor, like they use
No, he
O'Connor.
does say Old Testament.
And
you're right.
O'Connor's like, oh, we all know this guy. They send this guy after you who has, I guess, authority to operate in any country, even though
Apparently.
he's a United
Yeah.
States FBI agent.
So
Makes
he
no
lands.
sense
Yeah,
whatsoever.
the Rock walks
okay.
out. He's got a whole fucking crew of guys that are clearly just gonna get killed because they don't have fucking names.
No.
You're like, oh man, you got the guys from the back
You
of
can
the
tell
box,
they're
the
friends,
SOCOM.
though.
You know what I mean? Like all these fuckers.
I respect, though, that his entire team brought to you by Under Armour.
Yeah, of
all
course,
sponsored
of
by
course.
Under Armour.
Yeah.
The one main partner of the Rocks with the black hairs, kind of skinnier dude. And chat will have to. You guys won't understand this reference right now because you're not seeing him. But chat, if you want to look back at it, he reminds me of Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory. Just think about it. Move on.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Rock needs a translator. He's already picked who he wants. He wants this woman. She's just a
Rookie.
beat agent. Yeah, right. Well, you know, she's
Rookie
just a
cop.
street agent. She's just a street beat
Only
cop.
been a cop for like 6
She's only
months.
been a cop for 6 months on the
Street
street.
knitting, beating it.
after they
Street
killed her.
beating it. They go, oh no, you don't know that yet. We don't know that
Oh,
yet.
no?
Yeah.
We don't know that yet.
Isn't that the first thing he says?
No,
Well,
he just says
we're
she
not
had a good
introduced to her
smile.
yet. We're not introduced. Yeah, I
Oh,
like her
okay.
smile. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, gross, Rock. You're a
Yeah.
chauvinist, and you're really wet, and your beard looks weird. But
So
whatever.
he's not wet yet. He's just moist.
I don't like the
He's
goatee,
damp.
by the way.
Yeah, no,
No,
I think
yeah, no,
glad they
it's a
dropped
what?
it.
Here's what I
fucking
would
love
say.
the goatee.
The
They say
Rock
what defines Hobbs?
do really
The goatee.
dewy skin.
No.
right
Does it
now.
really?
Yeah. No, it does. That was a promotional thing that they had to do.
No, but that's
because
not
of his schedule.
That's not the same fucking goatee though. I'm talking the goatee
The
in this
new one,
movie.
yeah,
is
exactly.
He has like the
This new one.
Pharaoh's
It's
goatee.
like, yeah, it
It's
goes
too much.
down a little.
I was
love
trying to
it.
make the Mummies
Love
movie
it.
happen again. You know,
I
more
think it's
Scorpion
awesome.
King.
And The Rock
There's
is,
so many of
The
those.
Rock has nailed this Hobbs character. He has nailed the fine art of talking to one character, like looking at one character while talking to other characters.
Yeah, putting them
and
down.
speaking very, very fast and all in
Quippy.
just quips.
Just
in
quips.
I
Fuck
love
yeah,
it.
It's
man.
good. It's good. Thank
Yeah.
God The Rock.
I also
lives.
enjoy it.
Did you know that Elena, the cop, is Thor's wife?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's married to Chris
Internet
Evans.
Explorers, I found that on Monday.
That's impressitive. That's
Yeah.
really
Has a
good.
few
That's
kids
good.
together.
Man, they're gonna be
Very,
beautiful
very
kids.
beautiful
Holy
kids.
shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's there. He's like, oh, we gotta get to the crime scene. Shit's already happening. Go, and everybody just like runs in different directions. But they already had machine guns like coming off the fucking plane, which was an interesting choice. Whatever. They all run off. Yay! And they go to the crime scene. Yay! We probably cut back, see what's happening with Brian O'Connor and them, but we've already covered a little bit. Like, hey, guess what? We got this thing. We need some money. We take all their money. We need a team. Probably they say. Doesn't matter. Back at the crime
At some
scene.
point, we've excommunicated Vince from the group, though, right?
Right, yeah, it was Vince's
Because-
job. Vince came back when we got the thing.
But,
We're like,
but
get out of
again,
here.
they never really clarify why the job was bad. He was like, "It's a bad job," and Vince is like, "They needed money." But
You don't work
was it
with
a bad
you don't
job?
work with the Viper of Rio, as they call him in my mind. Anyways,
You created that right now.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, anyways, the Rock fell back with his team to look at the thing, blah blah blah, and like, oh, well, they lost some tracks, and the translator shows up, like, my smile's not that great. That's when he's like, it's not for your smile, it's because
Yeah.
your husband got iced.
Great
and I can
character
only-
arc, right?
I only
2
you-
months
I
later,
can only trust you, right? And she's like, yes, every other cop here is crooked,
Right.
and they should die.
You're the only cop
They
who can't be
will.
bought. So great.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so you could fall in love.
Yeah, but
Pretty easily.
but I just love like introducing
Yeah, yeah.
Rock as like, I like her smile. It's like, oh, you just want it because she's hot, and then you find out the real reason why. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, Rock.
But yeah, the real reason is that she's a cop who can show them around the city and use her expertise to really get them from point A to point B, right? But she never does any of that.
What are you
but
talking
also-
about? She immediately does. They're
Yeah.
like, the tracks went that way. They're lost. We're idiots. And she's like, you're idiots. It only is going to be lost for a mile. Then it picks back up in this other dirt thing and it'll lead us right to him. And The Rock's like, yippee-ki-yay, kick your fucking
Motherfucker.
feet and get in the thing, seats and beats. You know, 'cause that's how he talks.
Seats
That's
and
how he
beats.
talks. You know what I
Seats and
mean?
beats.
And so they drive off. We go back to, the Brian O'Connor team. Like, oh, we got all this money. We can figure out what this money is. We should steal the money, but it's going to be difficult to steal the money. And okay, well, I don't know what we're going to do. And so then it's going to what
Pregnant reveal is somewhere here.
No, it's not till they're on the run.
No, it's not until it's
We're
not
still
till they get
inside the garage where
assaulted.
we're like, hey, all this shit's happening.
Is this where
Oh,
he's
you're
like,
right.
we're going to need a
Vince.
team?
No, because they got to run first. I forget what happens here, but they just talk and they grunt a lot.
They're taking apart the car at this point.
Well, we've already said they have the thing. It really doesn't matter for anything. Don't worry, everybody. The Rock shows up, like, oh fuck, it's the guys. We gotta run, and then they run.
jump out the windows.
Oh no, but then because then the Rock's walking up on Vince's guys. That's what's happening. They're in the
Yeah.
conversation. He walks up and they all do the same gun thing that scared Brian because he's a little pussy. And guess what though? Rock ain't scared.
scared by that.
Everybody
No.
pulls their guns, even though they're so way outmatched.
Yeah.
If they wanted to fire right now,
They'd be
at
dead.
least a
These
couple of
guys
them
are
are
mercs.
dying.
But he had that golden
the
eagle,
Rock.
man. He had that fucking.
And he's like, that's
giant-
what I
big
thought.
old
I'm the
gun.
Rock. You all suck.
The 4 foot
This
long
is-
pistol he had.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair though, you'd have to be one tough motherfucker to see The Rock and his crew roll up in that Under Armour with all those guns and fucking flak
So
jackets
sweaty.
Yeah,
and be
dude.
like, let's take these guys on.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with him. He's already, by the way, at this point, almost at maximum sweat level. Almost.
Almost.
He's so sweaty.
He's
So they're making their move
so
up
witty.
on the Vince area where they're hiding out. They threw Vince out of the area, right? And
Yeah.
they're hiding in the garage now. But Vince is like, this is my place, I think. I'm kind of in charge, maybe? They seem like all listen to me.
I don't think it was like Vince's place. I think it was just a garage they had stolen.
But everybody there listened to Vince when he was like, no, they're cool. They're with me. And then Dom was like, Vince sucks.
Get
leave.
out. And he was like, I
everyone
live
else was
here.
The favelas have a bunch of gangs. I think Vince was just cool with one of these gangs.
All right, cool.
You know?
While that's happening, the Remy Zero's boys, they show back up. And they're like, hey, we want our stuff. And that's when all hell breaks loose.
On
And
the
like the
little
guns start
stockings.
getting shot and all, everything's going on. And that's when The Rock says, what the fuck? And he runs up. Yeah,
Remy Zero?
that's right. I explained this earlier
You
in the
added the
show.
last one?
I explained this earlier in the show, but you, Tim, and Kevin want to talk over
I
me.
was listening.
So now you can go back and watch this on youtube.com/kindafunny.
I was
and get
talking
yourself-
about the porn stars, what I was in.
Probably, exactly. So now you don't understand why it's called Remy Zero.
It's called.
I was listening. I still didn't.
It's a mission.
All the guns go off, and Rock's team's like, what the fuck? So they start running. And everybody's running now, and this is just it's just pandemonium in the houses of Daly City, and so people are running around.
Daly City looks
They're
like.
looking up, and fucking
wish
people are
Daly City
jumping
looked like
over the fucking rooms, and they're seeing feet. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is like somebody taking a bunch of action figures and throwing them in the air.
It's so
It was like
fucking awesome.
This
It
guy's
was such a
chasing that
good-
guy. Guns are getting shot.
I love how iconic that Brazil look is, like those
Yeah, the
houses and
favelas.
everything, and seeing them run through it. There's the scene where Dom is just fucking running, and then there's the reveal of the Rock in action.
Oh, when he
Comes out
jumps through
like
the
this,
window.
jumps
Yeah.
through the fucking thing, and you're
And
like,
it's so loud.
here
It's so loud.
we
Dominic
go.
Toretto stops to look.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because he's been
So-
running,
'cause
kicking
you know,
ass.
man, they're about to.
You know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scene in Inception where Joseph Gordon-Levitt is like running up the stairs and he turns around and like it reveals that like the staircase ended and he taught like that's how this whole scene felt to me where I feel like it's a whole maze and like
Yeah.
weird illusions and shit like
Right.
like how did this guy run forever and then they met up here like this person was
Don't
way
think
back
too
there.
hard. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
yeah, like
people
you're
are
right,
running.
like Dom is like running somewhere, and somehow the Rock busts out of a window on like the same level, but it seems like it's
No,
not.
he was one up.
Oh, he was one up?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
one up. Yeah, he was one up for
So
sure.
cool.
But yeah, people
I just
are
remember taking
running.
a whole wall
I
out.
mean, like at one point, Thor's wife. Do we have what? I don't remember her name.
Elena.
Elena. Thank you. Elena. She gets the drop on Dom. It's like fucking freeze, and then the bad guys, Remy Zero's boys, show up, and they're like, "You guys are dead." And rather than push her into the gunfire like Greg would have, Dom grabs her and rolls.
I would have literally taken scarf in the neck, pants, hurled her, just thrown her.
We got her, guys! Thanks. I never saw you on the team earlier. Here's your Remy Zero patch. Thanks.
Remy Zero Bats.
Zero patch.
He protects her. Gunfire goes off.
Drops his chain.
Then it was.
How does he drop his
The
chain?
other guys shoot those guys and kill those guys. And she's like, "Whoa, that was great." And she turns around, and now Dominic Toretto is also Batman because he's fucking gone.
he's gone.
Like, he's just gone,
Love it, man.
except for his chain that finally dropped and fell. And she picks this piece of evidence up, and this will come into play later. She starts wearing the evidence,
Yeah.
and Rock has no fucking problem with it. Doesn't matter.
Dude,
People
Paul
are running.
Walker has that fucking Nathan Drake punch.
Oh yeah, the Superman
Dude,
punch.
the
Yeah.
run, it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but, like,
So
all
nice
of
they
that.
kind of do it
really
twice.
good, yeah.
All of this felt like fucking Uncharted, like
It
running
was
through
really-
villages.
yeah, there's so much
climbing-
action, so
It's
much
so
happening,
great.
but it looks good. And like
Totally,
that punch is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Superman punch. Nice.
So eventually, it's Paul Walker and Mia. They're running. They get to a thing where clearly we're gonna fall into this giant hole if we jump there. But what are we gonna do? Fucking do it. Kick some boots and suits, and they fucking jump. I'm gonna get there. They
Boots and suits and beats in the streets.
Kick some boots and suits.
They jump through the hole. The other guys run up and like, oh my god, they disappeared in that hole. What
Nothing
do
we
we
can
do?
do.
Can't follow him into that. We're
Guys
scared
like,
of the
I
dark.
don't fight hole people.
I didn't sign up for this.
Actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, the characters get looking like we're just tired of running. We've been running for
Dude,
so long.
this is a lot of
This is
cardio.
a long scene.
It's
Let's
hot
just
here.
stop.
So yeah, everybody's dead that should be dead except for Remy Zero, who's always gonna be alive, just no matter what, little cockroach. You know what I mean?
Well, his whole crew gets killed, and he kind of just backs up
Yeah.
into like a hallway and like runs away.
That guy's great.
Yeah.
He's
Smart.
so good at not dying.
Rocks people, they're all into it now. They're doing forensics and shit. They have the.
By the way, that team murdered lots of people.
Oh yeah, lots of random
lots
people.
of people.
Yeah.
Again,
No laws in
as
Every
an
cop's
entity
crooked.
of the United States of America, they may have started some sort of war.
very true.
Well,
That is
They
100%
murdered
true.
like
To be-
30 people.
To
in
be
that.
fair, no one knows who murdered who. You know what I mean?
That's true,
It
but
was just
they
a mess
are,
of bullets.
except for anyone watching that last scene where the Merc Squad comes over the fucking thing and just fucking, the guys had no chance. They just got fucking destroyed.
I loved about that scene that they did that, and then we cut away to action, and we cut back, and
3
she was
bullets.
there, and then The Rock ran up, and the guys were just standing there.
Yeah, they're like-
it's like, no, there's still shit going on. Run.
Yeah.
But they're all pointed in the same direction. Like maybe one of you turn around.
I just
Or,
like
look the other way.
I
don't know.
expected them to cut back, and we just not even know that they are human bodies because they stayed shooting on them for at least 20 seconds. They're just
They emptied
pouring
clips.
bullets into their fucking body.
It was
and we
like
come
a
back,
scene
it was
from
like
Predator.
3
Nobody comes
bullet
back.
holes.
Nobody
like,
comes back, you know?
Oh my god.
So yeah, Rock and then do that. They got this cross. I guess I don't care about the cross. You can have it and just wear it because that's weird. All right, cool. Well, he saved my life. Whatever. Just fucking put the cross on. Who cares? Back down in the fucking sewers or whatever. Dom, Mia, and Brian, they reconvene there. Like,
We gotta split up.
everybody's looking for us now. I'm pregnant. And everyone's like, what?
That was very musical. But there we get the welcoming to the family
Yeah,
from Dominic Toretto.
Looks like our family got a little bit bigger.
Did I tear up? Yeah. Oh yeah, I teared
Yeah.
up a little
I love
bit.
it,
Yeah.
man. Love
Emotional.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Uncle
Let's get
Dom is
ridiculous.
excited. You know what I mean? This is why he let them fuck in the kitchen in the last movie.
But I
'Cause he
love,
knew.
the
He knew.
message here. Hey, we're
That's a
up
spicy
against,
meatball, he said.
We're up against the gangster. We've wronged him, and we, for your own safety, you guys should leave. Well, I'm pregnant. Oh, well then definitely
No,
stay.
no. She didn't say that. She said, "I'm pregnant."
She's like, you don't understand, Dom. I'm pregnant. There's a life growing in me, so I should stay in the middle of Rio de Janeiro.
They gotta stay together.
Yeah,
the family
that's-
won't be split up again. All right?
I don't think he wasn't saying we need to stay here.
No.
It was just like
No,
because
no.
Stay
they
together.
were stay
Yeah,
together.
she
were
just
planning
wanted
on
them to stay
fair.
together.
But like at one point, if I knew my wife was pregnant, I'd be like, let's just get her out of here. Like we
Or
can take
she
care of this.
wants to stay
Get her
together.
the fuck out of
Let's
here.
return the chip and
Or just give him the chip
No,
back.
fuck
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
never gonna work. That's never gonna work.
This is the
Have you
whole-
ever negotiated
This is
with
my biggest
terrorists?
problem
No.
with this whole movie is that the guy literally is just like he's probably lying. Of course, he's still gonna kill him. But at one point he just goes, "Just give me back the chip. I hired
Give me
you
my thing.
to get the chip, and you stole the chip from me.
I don't wanna hurt
If
you.
Just give me the chip back. We're cool." And they're like, "No."
You're
Why
a
not?
worse
I
guy.
don't know.
You are a worse guy than us being bad guys, and we can't support that.
I'm just like, oh my, and this is
Shit
this is
doesn't
actually
roll
my
uphill,
biggest
sir.
problem with this whole movie is that there are no real stakes. You don't really feel at any point that the characters themselves even give a shit that they're in danger, and that's punctuated later when they steal the cop cars. They're like, I think we're in danger, but you know,
Let's
it'd be real
race.
fun. Let's just
race.
fucking race these
Fuck
cop
yeah.
cars.
Are
in
you
the
guys
middle of Rio de
kidding? I
Janeiro.
love
We
that
stole a-
race.
It's a great scene,
Yeah.
but it just goes to punctuate that like none of this really
What
matters
you-
at all.
what you under-
at all.
Nick, unbuckle your fucking seatbelt and
but-
jump out of the car,
Bro,
dog.
look at me.
Unbuckle. There you
I'm
go.
on. I'm here, and I love. I
You're
love
not
the
here.
action
You're in the
sequences.
car
Were
in the
you
water.
climbing? Yeah, dude, you're in the water.
Oh my god!
Splash.
I wanted so badly to love this upon like the third viewing of it, and I was just so bored the entire time. 'Cause I'm like,
What?
I'm like, none of
crazy.
this shit matters.
Oh
Like,
my
we're getting
God.
also, by the way,
That's
this
the
is
point.
this is the last fun scene, and then we just get an hour of
Are you kidding? This is
characters
the last
talking back and forth,
in
and that's
the
all
best
they do.
way. In
No,
the best
it's not,
way.
It's not good. It's boring
Oh
as
my
shit. This movie was
God.
boring as shit.
He's
You
doubling
are-
down now.
Yeah.
He's just doubling
No,
down.
I mean, like, look, this movie it's sad to me because it has
Shame
some of the
on you.
greatest action sequences, but like, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and they could have done
Right,
like
Joey?
30 minutes taken out of it. It would have been great.
They definitely could have took a lot
Yeah,
out
sure.
of it. But
Like-
I love the dialogue.
I
This
thought
is
it
when
was
it
great,
becomes what the franchise
Right.
is of. It's a bunch of characters, and you just want to see them interact.
They all
because
have their
they're fun
specialties,
characters.
which some of them don't even make sense.
So that's
their specialties are
we've
dumb.
caught up to the thing. We've caught up to the movie here, right? So yeah, the stakes are higher than ever. Mia's got a baby on the way. We need to just get some money and
One last
fucking
big job.
retire and go to where there's no extradition. Great. So one last job. It's going to be a big one. We're going to get all this guy's money. What if we got all this money? All right, great. We're going to get the money. So we need a team for a job
We
this
need
big.
a team.
And that I saw
Fucking
Andy did a
chills.
tweet about that. That was fun.
This is the best, dude. Like, there's no better moment in movies because you know what's coming. You know
Montage.
that the next screen is going to be Han on the screen, and that's where it's like
The chameleon.
And again, the second audible time I'm in my car, I'm in my bed going
in
like,
the car.
"Oh, let's fucking go, die." I'm in my metaphorical car.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's an
And I'm
emotional
just-
car.
Yeah, I'm just so fucking stoked.
So
as
they
it
go,
starts.
yeah, they need a chameleon. They get Han, of course.
Because that's
Yeah.
what he's always been
Makes
best
sense.
at. Is just
we need someone who can blend in Rio de Janeiro. Let's get Han.
The tourist-looking dude.
He's not
a
chameleon.
They
He's not
need-
gonna blend
he
in
always
Rio
stands out.
with a
He's
bunch
the
of
coolest
Brazilian
person in the
people.
room.
Yeah. Me and
They
my wife
need-
was like, God, he's really good looking and exotic looking for fucking Rio. He looks nothing like anyone here.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
They
it makes
need
no
a
sense.
talker. We're gonna get Tyrese again. We're gonna
Love it.
go. We're
And
gonna go
what
get
a
Roman.
great
Roman.
use!
Like,
What a
got
great
that.
use of Tyrese's skill. This guy could talk his way in anywhere. What does he do? Drops off a box and pisses off the guy behind the fucking evidence thing. Who,
pisses
by the way,
off
doesn't even bother looking into the box that
They're
Tyrese
all
gave him.
crooked cops.
They didn't care.
None of this. He's like, he's a all you do is walk in and be like, here's evidence. But he pisses the guy off instead. There's nothing charming about this guy
You're
whatsoever.
pissing me off right now.
Yeah, I'm sad to say this
Some
because
bad
I remember
takes.
this movie a lot better than it is. But it's not good.
They need
you're
a
so
guy
wrong. You're
who
so
knows
wrong on this.
computers and shit. That's ludicrous. He's back. You know what I mean?
By the way,
they need-
Ludacris, whose ultimate goal is to have a garage. He's like, when I get this money, I'm doing this because I want to open a garage.
Which he already had.
Another garage, because we already saw the baller-ass garage that he had in number
Miami.
2. That was amazing, and he was doing all these custom cars. What
In
happened
the
to that
United
garage?
States,
Expansion.
right?
And by the way,
Expansion.
he never got caught for anything because he never did anything, so we should still have that garage. Why would he do
We don't
this?
know.
Forget everything you know.
Yeah,
They need
exactly.
those
Also,
two
$11
guys to
million
just do
is-
stuff.
yeah.
We
Two
got
guys,
the two guys
yeah.
to do stuff.
Yeah.
They're much better this show.
Oh, yeah.
We talked last time we came around. We were very much like what they were like this and stereotypes and this and that. And a lot of people wrote in that they're really famous in Latin America, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. But like, it was a weird thing for us not knowing them. This way, I thought they had a way better dynamic, right? With that negativity, you always with that negativity.
Well,
that was
I,
always
like,
fun.
Good
I
relationship.
did like them more than the last one because it had them two versus Ludacris and Tyrese,
Tyrese
and that
was
was
so
fun.
fucking
Some of
good.
those back and forths were fun, albeit completely useless.
Then they need somebody who can do
Anyone
it
can
all.
talk.
You know, a fill in for every role and also just fucking clean guns the entire movie. And that's Gigi.
She was the weapons expert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it though because you did when you first see her on the motorcycle, you don't know who
Yeah.
she is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then when she like comes into the place, you're like, oh my.
I've heard
God.
I heard it's pronounced Jal Jadot.
We're just saying Gigi from here on out for the rest of existence.
When
So
she
we
comes
interview
in
her.
and Tyrese is just hitting on her in the most.
Yo, baby, those nuts.
Oh,
When do
Tyrese.
they open? She pulls the gun immediately. Say, we're not doing that sexist bullshit.
Roman, man.
It's we're somewhere in the 2000s, and that shit doesn't stand anymore.
At what point
Hashtag
between
me too.
4 and 5 did she become a weapons expert? And why do they need a weapons expert? They don't use a gun at all in this entire movie.
They use
They
like
could-
she is constantly working on guns.
She's ready for
I
anything.
get it, and I understand. Hey, but the whole point of the team together, I totally understand, and I'm right there with you guys. Like, it's fun to see them all, and it's especially fun to see where they go in 6 and 7. But they just don't, and this is my biggest problem with the movie. They don't give them anything specifically good to do. Even the point of the movie that's supposed to be like, hey, now we're getting the plan together, and we have to utilize everyone's strengths. It all seems like an afterthought. Like even the Tyrese scene didn't need to be in the movie. We didn't need to see that at all.
But it
Like
was funny.
they could have.
I feel
Was
like
it
the whole.
funny?
I liked it.
I thought it could be. I was like, this is
I liked it,
annoying.
Yeah.
I love. I
Also-
think the dialogue really helped flesh out all of the characters and who they are.
That's my thing. Is like
I thought it was
I don't-
ultimately pointless.
I watched this movie and didn't enjoy it as much as I remembered enjoying it, but I did not have fun. And for me, it was awesome to get them all together. And I do love the way that all the dialogue plays and the relationships actively build. Like what we're talking about with the gal scene. I thought that was such a great way to introduce her to this group of guys, especially Tyrese, who is like a womanizer, like, you know, from Too Fast, Too Furious. Not really a womanizer, but you know what I mean? Like to have him be the big mouth, open his big mouth, and her be like, no, we don't fucking do that. So immediately you're like, okay, we understand the rules, and I'm glad she did that. We're in a different place. Even though we're still getting that 3/4 of a screen of an ass walking by eventually. We'll get to that. Not hers. Well, actually hers.
yeah.
But I was thinking of
Eventually, yeah.
the traditional Fast and Furious.
There's something
right.
wrong with that, man.
The Brazilian
Sexuality needs to be
Booties. I'm not
celebrated.
saying nobody likes. I'm not saying the booties are bad. I'm just saying they're always there, and somehow the undies are getting smaller and smaller on all these booties. And
That's Brazil. It's different
when we get
rules
to
there.
9, it's
This
just
is
feels like home.
Brazil.
so we
Like,
got
why
the
do you
team
say it like
assembled,
that?
That's how they say it.
and it's
He's
like,
not
hey,
Brazilian.
this is the mission. We're gonna steal this guy's money. Okay, that's not the way. Wait, we're gonna take this guy. He's in charge of Rio. He's a bad guy. And Tyrese's like, I'm out. And then it's like it's gonna be $100,000 gajillion dollars. And he's like, how much is it gonna be? I'm back in. It's like, all right, that's funny.
That
That's
was a really
scene.
good scene.
Yeah,
I-
it
or
was.
that-
It was.
Yeah,
So the
that
idea
dialogue there.
behind this is we're going to rob this guy, but in order to rob him, we have to steal all of his money. Because I guess if we don't steal all of his money,
Well, they
he'll
want
come
a big
after
payday.
us.
They want one final payday.
Right, but I think the implication was also like we're going to put him out of business. Basically, we steal $100 million of his dollars, he'll have nothing left, and he'll go away.
I didn't get that implication. I just
because they didn't
assumed
really
were
flesh
gonna
it out.
steal.
Again, no stakes in this
I
movie
think they were just-
whatsoever.
they're
They
planning to
probably could have
steal all
robbed
his
that
money.
first place and bounced and just left.
Not enough
They could
money.
have taken his money, left the chip, movie over. That's it.
No, he
They
would
could have, and I'm happy they didn't.
So here's what it is. We're gonna do this thing. Great. It's gonna take a lot of work. I know. Okay. So they'll start planning, and yeah, they figure out
And the planning stage that should have been a 5-minute like a 5-second montage.
They
was
blow
like
up the
3
pooper,
hours.
and then the two guys go in there and they install the thing.
They cut a hole
No,
in
no,
the
no,
wall.
no. They the first thing they do is
They send Tyrese in to get with the.
no, they go and rob or burn the money in the first
They go
place,
to the
yeah.
first house. They
Rile them up, piss
do
them
this
off.
stuff, piss them off. Then they watch from elevated positions and follow, very blatantly following many of them on the street who had revealed their faces at the place where they burned it all, which was weird. They fight. All the money goes back to the cops. Oh my god, the cops! Every cop really is crooked. This is fuck me. This is bad.
That was a
everybody.
cool scene too, where they're like, "You guys aren't gonna believe where it's going,"
Yeah.
and it like pans out, and it's like the police station.
Minor
Yeah.
flaw in the plan.
Oh.
Almost as if like if we had 10 places to rob and 10 of us, could have thought about a better plan for this one, but no, we're gonna put it all in one place.
You need a bunch of people to go in there. They had
do.
the whole squad with them. You know what I mean? So you can't use 10 people to rob or 9 people to rob just one place like they did the first one, and then do that simultaneously.
No. Yeah,
You know?
makes sense.
Now, so they do that, and that makes the news, obviously, that they're the Remy Zero's boss is real mad about it. He fucking kills the guy who let it happen or whatever.
Which
Move
didn't
on
seem
my
like it
money,
was his
boo.
fault at all.
No.
Bad guy. Bad guy rules.
Kevin, you work here. You know how it works. If something goes wrong, we blame you. It's never your fault.
Sure,
But, like, there's got to be a fall guy. It's gotta be you.
Beat me to death with a metal thing.
If I had $100 million in a bunch of different safe houses, maybe I would. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyways, though, this gets them back on the radar, and the Rocks finds out about it, and they're running facial recognition. They're looking for the car now. They know what they're looking for. Then they figure out that, oh man, cross-reference all the get every different criminal database up at once and cross-reference Dominic Toretto, known associates. They find everybody coming across the border, right?
Enhance.
Including Han Solo.
Is that his last name?
Yeah.
Really?
Spelled
Yeah,
like
I didn't
Seoul,
know that.
Korea.
Yeah.
That's cute.
he's Korean.
That's cute. That's cute. So that's bad. We're just gonna put it here. It doesn't happen here. This also leads to there being warrants for every one of these people. Like they put it all together, which then makes it very interesting when everybody just go like, for sure, Tyrese and Luda are in America. Like Tyrese rolls up with a Florida plate on his car.
Yeah.
So like, how did you came back with the warrant on you and are just living your $1 million lifestyle out there?
They figured out how to get,
Money buys you anything.
Again, in this movie,
Money runs the
nothing
rules
really
the world.
matters. And it doesn't matter that they're all wanted criminals or whatever. They can
Doesn't
just
matter.
Go
They're
here
there. This is
between
happening.
Brazil
Were
and
they-
here, all of
100%. Well, I mean, other than that,
Where
he's
were
driving
they-
with a
where were they
Florida plate.
going?
I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
great question too, because I thought, oh,
'Cause
we're
they
going
go
to the baby
somewhere, yeah.
shower because like we had to go. I was like, oh, they're all going to meet up, and then I was like, wait, no, they're not. I don't know where they were going. Maybe it'll be revealed in Fast 6. But I digress. We don't talk about what happens next.
Yeah.
It doesn't get revealed in Fast 6 either. So yeah. So then the two guys they blew up the poopers. I felt bad for the dude in there getting. That would
my
like.
God.
got shit
Hey,
up
was
his
he
ass.
the guy?
scary.
Was he the guy?
Yeah, he's
that,
the guy from the
that's the
evidence
guy.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Then those two guys go in there. They set up security cameras. That's how we figure out that, oh my God, it's like a fucking maze under there. Where they got these windows. We got to start driving.
It made me
like a window.
nauseated. That scene made me nauseated. Like I
with all the shit everywhere?
Seeing the poo poo
sure,
everywhere.
yeah.
Oh my god.
It was upsetting.
I don't know.
Caquita.
Taquito?
The scene was just like weird to me because they're like, we're gonna go in and we're gonna cut a hole in the wall.
to
And
get to
then,
the
They
wires.
patched it up. I mean, they cleaned all the shit. You know.
so the cop, we're expected to believe the cops walk in and be like, well, this place is spick and spam. And there's a hole in the wall that's clearly been patched
Plumbing.
up. but we're
Unless
okay
you
with it.
touch it, it's fine.
Sure.
You give
Yeah.
it a day, it's gonna be dry.
It's this, I don't know.
Nick,
plumbing.
you're, Nick, you're
my
looking
disappointment
too
is
hard.
that I wanted the team to come together in this, and I wanted all this stuff to be a lot more clever than it is, and it just seems like filler stuff. That's my biggest problem with this movie.
So
Before we get on with the plot of the
Finally.
movie, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by.
It's cool.
Where we at, Greg?
Hole in the wall.
all right, we got to get fast cars. I know just the place. Paul and Vin go off to this place. This is where it's the traditional Fast and Furious scene. All these booties just shaking. These beautiful cars,
Feels like
these
home.
beautiful babies. And like, all right, cool. They walk in. And the guy's like, "You're Dominic Toretto. You're fucking wanted by everybody. The dude just put a giant bounty on your head, but like, you can't come on." And, okay, cool.
Race culture,
Let's
man. It's
race.
different,
Yeah,
you know
I'll
what I
race
mean?
for pinks. That'll be a great trophy. Fucking loses. They get the car. Great.
Oh, they don't even show it.
don't even
I
show
love
it.
the
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. Just boom.
Yeah.
We know
So
what
we come
happened.
back. Paul's got his fast car. He's driving around. He's still getting seen. Nobody can pull it off. Oh, what are we going to do? We need faster cars or something to figure out.
Speaking of the cars, we missed this in the beginning, but one of my, if not my favorite line in the entire franchise
yes.
was when Hobbs is first shown. And it's like, and no matter what you do, don't
let
let
them
them get in the cars.
Yeah, that was great.
This is where we're at now as a
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, that was good.
superheroes.
That was
It's
really, really
awesome.
good. That was really, really good.
Thankfully, we don't actually see them do anything interesting in cars for like an hour and a half in this movie.
Here comes Debbie Downer. Jesus Christ.
They're
No, I mean, like,
doing
what-
that.
it's just
This
they
guy,
show him
this guy.
drifting endlessly, and that there's no payoff. to
I
that
love
whatsoever.
that stuff. I thought there was total payoff to
Also,
it. What was
that,
the payoff
that
of the
race
drifting?
is so good. The race with the 4 cop cars, I enjoyed
fun.
the shit out of
That's
it.
probably because someone was like, at some point in this movie, we should show them racing, and this is the first time we ever actually see them racing in this movie, and it's like an hour and 40 minutes in. It's just a lot of
the
wasted
movies
time.
aren't about racing anymore.
Right
all
around
family.
here is the Old Testament conversation, the fact that you all have warrants for your arrest. Hobbs is out to get our asses or whatever, and that's when like we need to talk to Hobbs because it's shortly after they've won the car, but they still race around a bit. And it's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and they just go out into the streets to get found. They go back to that race place, right? Again,
Well, Hobbs
hundreds of
starts tracking
thousands
their
of fucking
cars.
dollars on the thing, right? Hundreds of thousands. I already talked about that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars on their heads here. We'll just go back to the race wars and chill out there, because again, race culture will mean these people won't flip on us, and also will put all of their lives on the line.
He's a legend.
against
Dude. He's a racing legend.
the
They
fucking
straight up say it.
government assassins.
And the guy
saying
that
it.
he beats, like, on his side, too.
He's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's Dominic Toretto, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a fan.
So yeah, this is the Brazil scene. Hobbs shows up. They're yelling at each other. This is Brazil, whatever. And we get some good dialogue of Hobbs shitting all over Paul Walker's character, and like, yeah, fucking turncoat. You know what I mean? You took a fucking oath. And,
Yeah.
and he gives it to him like, yeah,
Oh,
good
yeah.
job. But then this is Brazil, and all of them raise guns, and all the Marine guys are like, oh, fuck, except Hobbs. Hobbs doesn't break line of sight. You know, he'll fucking roll if he has to.
Same blood, same mud.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this scene because there is the like you're gonna be under arrest in a second, and Dom's like
I don't feel under arrest.
He's like, Brian, do you feel it? Yeah, it's so,
No,
he's
not
so
feeling it.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, it's gonna sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock's great here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they back off. They drive away. But guess what? Luda was underneath one of the cars. Very dangerous.
Just
Easy way
pops
to
up.
get run over or be seen in the rearview mirror. But yeah, he put a tracker on Hobbs' car. This way they know where Hobbs will be.
He's the tech guy.
Smart.
You just see them drive away and, like,
This
That's
is
the funeral of Luda. We're just like, well, that was unexpected.
Tyrese does the evidence thing we've talked so much about. We get to see the safe. They buy the same safe to fuck around with it, to do it. They're going to
stole
get a
it,
bunch
right?
of stuff.
Where'd you get the
Same.
safe? Yeah.
We used to have a life too.
yeah. See, I love that. I like it.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
so
those are all
good.
bad throwaway
No,
lines.
those are great.
It's like,
not
oh, we
throwaway,
need to
but
have
they
someone
all
to do
add.
something.
Well, it's Ludacris is all like, no wait, who was it? Luda is the
Tech guy.
Was like, oh, that's this safe, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
where do you get that knowledge? And it's that
I used to have
that's
it on,
where you
yeah.
see that first line.
He's like, well, aside from running illegal jet ski races, I also happen to be a high tech
did he
criminal.
do illegal jet ski races?
Ludicrous, yeah.
Yeah,
Were they illegal?
I don't think they were
Well, yeah, no,
sanctioned
they
by
were
any
not.
governing body.
But like, wait, did I miss a jet ski race in the
Too Fast
in
2?
Yeah.
Was it jet ski race?
Yeah.
When they walk up
It's
to him the
happening in the
first
background.
time,
They're taking
he's
bets
yelling
on
into
it.
a megaphone about it.
Got it. Okay.
So all that shit's happened.
There's no way it's
Great.
sanctioned,
He's gonna work on the Tumblr for it. They need to get the handprint of the dude. Of course they send Han, who's supposed to be the chameleon and blend in anything, but Giselle is her name. She's like, I'll come along too, because she already has the hots for Han. We've
Yeah.
already seen a
Fucking
few
love it, man.
Love
looks.
that.
It's very cute. It's very cute.
Very
And when
cute.
she's doing the drift thing, he's like, I think I'm in love.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
It's very good. It's very, very good.
Such fan service.
So they get there. They have some conversations while he eats. It's fun. They know about each other. They can read each other. Really good. 2 packs a day. Very good. Very good scene. Very good stuff here. But eventually he's like, too many business or too many bodyguards. I got to get away from this. Whatever. She's like, don't send a man to a woman's job. She takes off all her clothes. And
Fun
walks over
music
there.
plays. She just starts walking.
That
in
was a
slow-mo.
great-
It's
when
like,
she
let's
stands
fucking
up,
go,
it's
boys.
I'm gonna tell you this. This scene, Gal Gadot in this is stunning. But you look at her now, because I think she had to put on like 15 or 20 pounds of muscle for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I think she looks so much better now.
Oh my God,
I think she looks
so
a lot
much better.
better.
Yeah.
Like she has that model
She's
body. in
Wonder
this.
Woman now. Yeah.
No, I just think
Well,
like
there's difference between like runway.
I mean, she's
model
very
bodies
much like I
and,
have
like,
no muscle on me. I am
super toned,
waifishly skinny.
muscular, yeah.
I
And
noticed
in
that
this, I think she looks a lot more fit and a lot healthier now.
Yeah,
I
in the
like that. I like
in
that
her
more.
first movie, in the first movie, the Fast and Furious she was in before this, I hadn't thought about it or seen that really since Wonder Woman or whatever,
Yeah.
and see like, oh my God, yeah, your arms were so
tiny,
thin.
tiny.
Yeah.
I think she looks a lot healthier.
So she walks over, Remy Zero's boss grabs her ass, and so that's how we get a handprint. We take that back. Everybody's making jokes about, did he grab it, did he slam it, blah blah blah. But like, of course, and also everybody's just handling this evidence that has the perfect handprint on it. They're all like, thanks. It's like, no, it's
And
like,
while
put
the-
it in a bag.
But during that whole little conversation, you know that image of everybody uses this image when they talk about listening to podcasts, where it's like the guy eating cereal.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like I was watching my friends just fuck with each other. I was like, come on, guys. I felt like I was part of the group there, man.
That's great. So it works, and they're able to make a handprint off that. Congratulations, everybody.
Which is such a dumb thing.
So
Like,
fucking dumb.
he grabbed her ass and then she like didn't smudge it anywhere. Very carefully walked out.
She walked away like super.
Not to mention that
Walks out, takes her pants off, and is like, get him now while they're fresh.
the thing about swimsuit material, right, is
Yeah.
that it expands
Very
over
expanded,
the.
very
So like
stretchy.
it would be shrunk down. The handprint would be all morphed.
They stretched it.
Sure. I forget. Oh, it was after that scene with the tracker. Damn it. Mrs. Hemsworth. I'm sorry. What's her character name? Elena. Uncharted. Why can't I remember that? Elena went back to her house, put down her gun. Vin Diesel came back.
She's there.
And she was like, what the fuck? And he
Scary.
just took the necklace, right? He just wanted the fucking necklace. And then he's talking about her husband. She's talking, and then
Big risk for $5 worth
$20.
of shitty silver.
Damn, you're Elena's real mean. Fucking $5 with a shitty
Every time
silver.
in movies when someone like grabs someone's necklace and pulls it off, I'm always like, that looks like it would really hurt. And
Yeah.
like,
Or
it'd be a
break
lot
the
more,
necklace.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more like
Yeah.
aggressive than it seems. Like,
It was
and
nice,
also,
though.
Dom, why
I
would
like
you
to
do
see
that?
She just like gets yanked.
Anyways, this is where they have the connection that they both are in love with dead people. You know what I mean? Like they
So
see
sad.
dead people, they love dead people. Probably both masturbate about dead people.
Yeah.
But Dom just bounces, and she's like cool with it. Like I understand. Like you know what? I'm the only non-crooked cop, but there's something going on here I don't fully understand. Right? So whatever. Now fuck Jesus. I think we're 24 hours.
He's up there
from
on the hill like, what? Like,
it was the invisible thing. They steal the cop cars. They race the cop cars.
So fucking good. I love when they all pull up and they're like, they're about to fucking race. All the dialogue there is
So
great. I love
good.
seeing because it's so clearly Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift, where we're at now. All of them. You're like, this is the celebration of
familia.
5 movies getting
It's
there.
another
What was-
moment where it's like you really feel the friendship. Where
Yeah.
it's like, look at these guys hanging out and being like, "Hey, you want to make this giant bet?" And someone's like, "Let's do it even bigger."
Yeah.
So
Great
good.
race scene.
Hana's like, how
love
about
how
$1
it
million?
fucking ends.
Yeah.
Vin letting him win.
Did he
all
let
the
him win?
dialogue there.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
God, totally.
But what was
It was a baby.
To go back, what was the actual plan?
steal the cars. So because they were doing the test.
No, not with the cars. Like, what was the plan to steal the money?
I think the plan became steal the safe.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what was the actual first plan?
The original plan, I think, was to use all 4 cop cars for them to infiltrate down, drift around the camera so they didn't see them coming back, park, then be able to go up, get into the evidence room. That's why Tyrese wanted to see what it looked like on
Get
the inside.
$100 million, pull that down.
There you go. That's the big problem.
Yeah.
Get
That
$100
is the
million
big problem.
out of the safe, pull
It's
it
a
out.
lot of
This is
them.
my biggest problem with this movie. Is aside from the fact that there's no stakes, which you've clearly just illustrated with this amazing scene. I love the scene with the cop cars.
You just don't understand.
Totally useless.
Brazil is different. You know what
Brazil
I mean?
doesn't have
rule.
the
There's
money's
no
smart,
rules.
But my biggest problem, and this is my biggest criticism of the movie, is that yes, they assemble this team, but they never actually like show the audience what the point of this plan is, right? If you take it back to like a Mission Impossible movie, they always have the scene in Mission Impossible like, here's what we have to do. We have the specialist, very clever way we're utilizing these people, and then
and stuff.
spoilers, of course, right around the third act. The scene goes to shit and they have to call an audible and do something else. But at least you set up the fact that this plan has a fucking 90% chance of working. This whole time you're like, fail. This is not going to work. Not only that, but what happens once we get into the garage?
They didn't need to drift the cop cars. I'm sorry. That was the whole point. They were invisible cop
Well, the cop cars,
could
yeah, they could just drive in, which
Yeah.
seems like a much smarter idea than making everyone drift cars that you have to go out there and win night after night, race after race, try to get better cars.
I agree with you that I wish it was more clever.
It's just not
and
clever.
better there, but I
thought-
think that it did a good enough job, and I feel like it gave them cool things to do. I liked them testing the drift. I like the way that they set it all up, and I
I just
loved
felt like
getting
that,
to the cop
that
cars
whole
and all
section
that.
was ultimately completely pointless for the movie. And if they had cut that out and just made that a quick montage, I'm like, hey, we're ready to go for this thing. Oh, you know what we should do? Get better car. Whatever. That would have worked better. I
But my-
get that
my
it's to
argument
put all the
that is
characters
that-
on there,
I
but
feel
it's
like that
just
is the point of the movie. It's like taking that out, like that is what
but
makes
that's
this movie
disappointing
good.
because a lot of these movies, well, not to me. To me, it was a lot of the scenes were just throwaway dialogue with. We're supposed to enjoy these character moments, and some of them were okay, and some of them, like the gal, like the Giselle and Han stuff. I'm like, I like this. Everything else between the 2 Cuban guys and the two and
didn't love that?
Tyrese, some of it was okay, but ultimately kind of pointless. Useless.
No,
What was the
but
point of those
it's
2 guys? They didn't
it's
really.
all
They're just
character
utility
building,
guys.
though.
I
Like,
just wish they
building
had
the
fewer
relationships.
people and gave them actual like jobs to do.
I think that at the end, what happens, like the little twist that they do, like I feel like the payoff is great. Like I thought, like at the end, I was like, oh, what a clever way to handle that situation.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, because they had that extra safe.
That
Yeah.
was interesting.
interesting.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
My other
So
big
they
criticism of the movie.
all steal the cars, come back. He told you didn't see it. Another great scene, right? What didn't see what? What? And Paul Walker's all like mystified. They're having the biggest celebration because you want to be hungover doing the biggest job of your life. They're having the biggest celebration of their lives before the 24 hours. Blah blah.
And we get the speech.
Yeah, we get a speech, right?
Most
Yeah,
important
yeah.
thing.
But we're not
Wait,
there.
we didn't get there yet because Mia is shopping out in a thing, right?
Oh, that's right.
And
She
the
almost gets-
and the Reyes' people, or sorry, Remy Zero's people,
Let me see those people.
pull up, and Vince apparently has just been stalking Mia for the last 15 days in a row. Knows exactly where she's going to be. Comes out of nowhere and goes, "They're looking for you." And then Mia brings him back and goes, "Hey, Vince
He's cool
saved
now."
me." and Dom, who before was ready to kill Vince, was like, "You hungry? Get hungry." I don't know if you're angry with me or you're about to shit your pants, Dom. What's happening over there? And just the flip of the switch, Vince is back in. Dom, not really a man that has a lot of convictions. Hard convictions.
What you have to understand is Vince has been his best friend since he was a very, very small child. So yeah, maybe he shouldn't have kicked him out.
Kicked him out of the group.
When Vince was trying to just be like, "Hey, I'm just trying we are about to be fucked because you stole this," even though we had a deal that was just taking the cars. There was no reason for us to steal
Vince
this chip.
not the bad guy. Vince like, this was a good job. And Baldy showed up and fucking started killing people. And you fucked this up. But I digress.
So yeah, party and Vince is there. You're right. They're making ribs. They're all burnt. It's all very funny. And then what are you gonna do with $3 million? They all lay out what they're gonna do or whatever. This is when they try to offer Mia a beer, and she reveals she's pregnant, and everybody's like, "Oh," they all hug, and they're all so super sweet together. And then it's the time for the speech. We get the speech. Yes, Kevin.
What's up with the
I was
pull-out
just gonna
method?
say, Tyrese does not understand that she's pregnant when they offer her the beer. And,
Why can't she
she's
drink?
like, "Oh no." And he has to say like 3 times, like, "No, she can't." He's like, "What do you mean?"
I'm fucking Tyrese.
It's so funny.
Did you hear in the background though? You didn't. What's up? You didn't do the pull-out method.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, this is more the joking around.
Bros,
stuff,
man,
yeah.
everybody's just a big
Big
familia.
family.
Why would you fucking impregnate someone when you're on the run from
Yeah.
the U.S. government? You know?
Accident, dude. Accidents happen.
Well, no, they fucked in the kitchen. It was on purpose.
Well,
that's where all the Toretto babies are birthed. No, wait, no, conceived.
It's statistically proven that during times of like high stress, people do like to bang it out.
Yeah.
They like to bang it out.
Yeah.
Not like sensually, more like
No, it's just very aggressive. You gotta feel good, you know?
We get a speech. This is what the things. The most important thing will always be the people in this room.
Good speech.
Salud. Salud.
Salud, mi familia.
And then it's like, all right, cool. Tomorrow's the day. We got to be ready for it. Everybody's sitting around ready. And then it's like, all right, Hobbs on the other side of town. This is our best chance. All right. And they send everybody off to go do their things. And then guess what? Hobbs wasn't on the other side of town. They all fucking infiltrate here when everybody's like, there's fucking people. Ah. And all hell starts breaking loose, and Brian and Mia try to run, and then Hobbs comes fucking trucking in like a rhinoceros, and it's him versus Dom. This is what we've been waiting for.
I fucking love
This
it.
is the
before-
beginning of Thanos and Hulk.
Before
on the ship.
that happens,
But
again,
better,
another.
'cause Thanos just beat the shit out of Hulk.
He has a throwaway line where he's like, "You didn't think I'd find your receiver? I flipped the switch on you and made your receiver a transmitter."
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's how receivers work. I don't think you could do that. but
Technology,
whatever.
dude.
Who knows?
Yeah, you don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Nick.
I have wireless mics. They don't work that way.
So they and they're
don't
just
have the
fucking fighting, and they're slamming through walls, and it's back and forth. It's give and take. You're just like, oh man, I love Vin, but I love The Rock, and if The Rock kills him, but I love Vin, but I don't want to kill The Rock. It's like, just wrestling around the wall.
You're torn.
Huh?
You're torn
I am
as
torn.
an
I am
audience.
torn. But eventually, Brian and Mia are surrounded by Hobbs dudes, and
Which makes fucking Dom Hulk out.
exactly, Dom's
just
in a,
goes so
Dom's
much
in a
stronger.
sleeper hold, and he's like, "That's it. This is my one thing." And he busts through and he throws Hobbs down, and then he climbs down. And he's just pounding on Hobbs, and Mia's saying stop, and they trade back and forth a little time, and then finally he grabs the wrench and he comes back up and he slams it on the side. He slams it next to the Rock's head. He doesn't kill the Rock. He doesn't want to be that man anymore, kind of, even though he kills people. So they're thrown into the back of the jail car. And they're driven out, and Hobbs is like, "We did it, boys. Crack a cold one, suck some suits, kick the boots, you know."
Suck some suits, kick the boots. Let's go make some money. Let's
And
suck
so
some
they're
suits.
just driving really dangerously through the streets of Rio, just like fucking taking
bouncing
huge
off every
jumps,
goddamn
just being fucking crazy motherfuckers. And everything's just fine. We got him, yeah. And then he looks up and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's an ambush!" And it's an RPG, and all hell breaks loose. And cars are flipping, and everybody's getting flipped. And Rock's got to get out to save one of his boys who's pinned underneath the car. And he turns to Elena and he's like, just, keep an eye on him. Don't fucking trust him. And, like, all right.
And the point was to get them right because he still wants the chip back. Right? Oh, he just wants to stop them from. He's already moved his money, so he just wants to stop them from.
Yeah,
trying
he
to
wants
rob
them
him.
right.
He just wants
No,
to
yeah,
kill
yeah.
them.
This is
That makes sense.
just a blood vendetta.
This is blood.
But Rock can't save any of his guys. They all get fucking killed. Rock's there,
Which
though.
I thought was a really, really sad and fucked up scene.
Yeah, it was
the
fucked
fact
up.
that they're all getting like the one grenade lands in front of the dude, and then another one lands. And it's like,
They're really dead.
I just really wanted to parody the scene in a third and a fourth.
Because the first one lands, you're like, oh, someone's gonna come grab it and throw
Yeah.
it, and then the second one lands, you're like, oh, he dead.
Oh, he's
dead.
really
He's
dead.
dead.
well, it's like, and then it pans up slightly so you can see his face, and he's just like,
Yeah, we needed
And
this.
it's just like, oh, fuck.
This is what we
was
needed for
kinda-
The Rock
Yeah.
to be like,
Yeah.
fuck this, we're
Yeah.
teaming up to take down him.
But look on the
What
guy's
is it?
face was almost one of like, just like, well, okay. I guess I'm dead.
And so then it looks like Rock's gonna get killed, but guess
hard
what?
to look.
Everybody's out. Elena let everybody out. They've got shotguns and guns, and they're shooting shit, and they're fucking this shit up. And Vin Diesel walks over to The Rock and extends his fucking meaty ass
so
arm.
good.
And then they do the fucking grab.
Yeah.
grab
It's
was
so good.
And he put it on his Instagram stories, but we all felt it. Like, woo!
Another
Yeah!
time, like, let's go, baby. Like,
Also, just a note, this is the point of most sweat on The Rock. Yeah. This scene where
I will
he's
say
laying
this
on the
was.
ground.
I will say this, not to disagree with
he's
you,
drenched.
but this is equal to when The Rock, if not more, maybe a little bit more than when The Rock was finished running around the favela, because he was literally when he reaches Elaine in that scene. Dripping like to the point where it's like I can't. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
It's
you're like
burning
just
my
get out of the
eyes.
eye. Like why
Yeah.
is it so? Like I swear to God, what was the makeup artist thinking? Like just pat him off. Everyone else, one little bit of sweat.
Yeah.
I like to think that The Rock actually sweats that much, and they were like, what do we do? Should we dry him off every time? And he was like, no, leave it.
I'd like to imagine The Rock like a sponge, and when they grabbed hands, Vin Diesel like grabs him hard, and you see
Wrings
just
him out.
liquid like
Yeah, I can see
seep
it.
out of him.
I like to imagine him as a sponge.
So we fall
I
back
just feel like everyone else should have been sweatier.
to
That's the problem.
Toretto HQ,
Yeah.
where it's all fucked. Everybody's there and like, this thing is pear shaped, and we need to get the fuck out of here.
Pear-shaped.
Yeah. And Dominic Toretto's like, nah, man, we're doing this. We're still gonna get all this money. And everyone's like, no. Even Han is like, no, this is a bad idea. Nothing can change my mind. And then Hobbs, who you didn't even know was in the scene, just off camera, was like, I'll ride with you, Toretto. And it was like,
You're like, what?
fuck,
My
you
gosh,
got
shit.
him
Just
to
sitting
flip.
over there, just sitting.
He's
Like,
chilling, dude.
ah.
He's
But it
happy.
makes
He
sense.
appreciates
They just-
the save.
What are they going to drop him off? The police? Where?
Yes!
Where?
The next corner, be
No,
like, this guy's
but
been hunting us down for
At
2
this
months.
point, the cops they want to kill him. Because otherwise, like, he knows that, like, the bad guys.
Sure, but at the same,
killed
but
him.
it's a little bit of a leap of logic to be like, this guy has been hunting us down, just beat the shit out of Dom. Like we just fought almost
Also,
to the death,
no, he lost that fight.
but they fucked each other
Dom
up.
chose not to murder him by
That's fair.
crushing his face with
But it just comes out of nowhere. You're like, what? Like I remember first seeing this movie, like, wait, what? Why is The Rock here? Like, why did they keep Hobbs?
It made
Did the
perfect
grab, it
sense.
was the power transfer.
Well, no, it
man.
was-
the
it-
enemy of the enemy is my friend.
It was the grab, and it was Reyes' guys coming in on Rock, and all of them get shot
I
up
totally
by.
understand
Him
The Rock's
watching-
motivations, and I think The Rock, like, wanting to be a part of their team in a weird world in the world of Fast Furious makes sense. But it was just odd that I just remember watching this the first time, being like gobsmacked by the fact that he was just randomly over in the corner. I was like, wait, they kept him around? Like, wouldn't you think they'd drive him out, but like, oh, get the fuck out, like kick him out of the car, but like, don't ever fuck with us again.
No, once they did the hand thing, I knew they were cool.
Yeah.
They were cool, yeah.
I didn't expect The Rock to be like, I'm in, but I was like, whatever. Well, I mean, I probably did from the
It
trailers.
made
but
sense after the quiet, somber
Like,
death
when
scene
I-
of all
when I
his
watched it the-
teammates.
when I watched it the
I was
first
just like,
time-
all right.
When I watched it the first time, what I had expected was he saves The Rock, boom, we cut. They're back at the garage, and The Rock is at HQ thinking, oh, I've made a mistake. I pegged these guys wrong, and The Rock's going to come in last minute and save the day.
There's no more HQ though. Everyone
I-
in his team is dead. So
Except for
where would
the
he?
gigantic plane that he's
You
got
miss,
on the runway.
you miss
and all
it.
that
They
stuff,
went
and-
to fucking dinner
he
together.
doesn't own the plane. They just flew in with it.
He's this. I don't know. It's very weird.
He's just an FBI guy.
You would also think the
so
United
once
States government
he
would have something to
says
say about
he's in, that maybe as a
FBI
satellite phone.
agents fucking like getting murdered on the streets of Rio de Janeiro. We're on our own right now. Or call the American government. They probably have more people in Rio right now. Like just get them over. Whatever.
We're doing this. You're in. We're in. We're going to do a different kind of plan, guys. Remember how we were going to be very surgical in covert? Fuck that.
Fuck it all.
They get behind the wheel of The Rock's fucking giant rhinoceros car, and they just fucking drive into police HQ, into the garage, and then through the fucking wall.
Brute force,
right?
man.
And then behind them comes Vin and Paul in their cars. They just attach the fucking the cables with the tensile strength. Kevin, what's science with Kevin? This
I mean,
How-
that was thick metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Science with Kev.
I'm Kevin.
That's not what I sound like.
I know.
Kevin, what do you think? What do you think the chances of those two cars that roughly probably have, let's say
900.
800 horsepower apiece and maybe
No,
torque?
I mean I meant total.
Do you think that safe only weighs 900
They can't
pounds?
fucking
no,
pay.
they
They
have
can't
to-
care. They can't do this. They can't move the safe.
Someone did a physics breakdown of it on
Does it
YouTube.
work?
It's very interesting. No. course not.
They drive the fuck out of there at the safe. They're smashing into shit. All fucking hell's going
So
loose.
fucking cool.
Yeah, what's his fucking face? Remy Zero's boss was upstairs like, oh my God, I thought everything was safe. I can't believe it's not safe. And so they're driving through the streets now, and they got the safe, and they're smashing into shit left
It's
and
so
right.
cool, but this is another moment like
This is
going back-
a hard moment for me to swallow because I'm like I love this scene. I do. It's dumb. It's goofy, but it's too slapsticky for me to really wrap my head around it. Like it's too much of a suspension of disbelief where like they're dragging this thing at 100 miles an hour and it's ping-ponging off the road. There's no friction whatsoever with the asphalt. And it never gets stuck on anything. Like it doesn't make
Once
sense.
it
See,
catches
I have the opposite problem where I wish it was more slapstick. I wish there was more choreography
I
going
wish-
on with it and like crazy wacky shit.
And this
going on.
is my biggest problem with this movie is like this is a Fast and Furious scene, right? The train sequence is a Fast and Furious scene. The cop car sequence is a Fast and Furious scene. Everything else in the middle, I'm like, why? Why are we even
Those
trying
are
to do all
Fast
these
and
other
Furious
things?
Yeah,
scenes.
those
That's
are
what
that
this is.
building
No,
that
I mean, you'll see
relationship
what we-
between the characters. I think is super
I
important.
totally get it. I'm just like I just wanted to get to this scene more. Like,
Well, also
it's
another-
too much of that other stuff.
Another thing is, I feel like a lot of the conversations were throwbacks to the other movies that like brought like all of these movies that feel disconnected.
My big problem with the movie is that I don't like when there's scenes that just don't necessarily need to be in a movie, right? Like any scene in a movie should either be further along the plot or character development. And there's a lot of just throwaway shit in the middle here. Again, I think that could have been 10 minutes, 20 minutes edited out. I wanted to get to this scene faster because when I saw this in theaters, I was like, oh, right, this is the absurdity of Fast and Furious. This is the fun factor. Like, this scene's fun. It doesn't make any sense. And you have to really be like, all right, what, like,
I wish
this
it was
is a
more
little
fun.
too ridiculous with the safe, but it was fun.
No, I love the
So
scene where they
ridiculous. I loved
split and the scene is the
thing,
safe is
like,
in the middle.
so fucking
it's
cool.
So
great.
cool.
To me, like the only way that I was able to pass this by like the logic test was like once the safe gets going, it's like at
Yeah.
full speed and you
Yeah.
can't, there's no stopping.
good.
So it's
Yeah,
helping.
inertia.
No,
Inertia,
absolutely
yes.
not. It would dig into the asphalt and stop and pull the fucking chassis off those cars.
I
It would
think
not
a
work
big
at
issue
all.
that this movie has is it's still somehow in that realm of reality where we're questioning
Yeah.
logic.
That's the problem.
Like, again, without talking about future movies, it's like it does hit a point where you don't ask these questions anymore because it's like it's not supposed
don't
to.
know.
stopped asking questions
I
a
stopped
long
asking
time ago.
questions. Like Tokyo Drift, where I was like, all right, good enough.
It's just hard because that thin reality of like suspension of disbelief, like there has to be some believable element. And like, yeah, again, we get the 6 and there's some stuff that happens there where you're like, oh, people are fucking flying around and catching each other or whatever. But this was just like it's so you're like that's just not your brain. You can't rectify it. I'm like, that's not how the world works.
I don't know.
If you had set up that one of them is a super soldier and can lift shit, maybe I don't know. But like this thing is.
I mean, like I feel like
how
they've
many
been
tons is
subtly
this
setting.
safe? Like it's not going to happen unless it's on wheels.
But who lifts the safe?
I'm saying there's
Oh,
no
okay.
way, there's no character that's
Got it,
possible.
got it.
It's not possible in this universe to do this thing, and it breaks your brain when you're watching this. You're like, that's not. It wouldn't do that.
I don't know. It's just one of
It
those
is
things where I
possible
like
in this
100
universe.
tons.
Yeah, in that, like, I feel like they
Full of
set it up,
cash.
so I was just like, this is fucking great.
Again, we
I
unbuckled the
love
seat. We're
this,
flying
yeah.
out, man.
Flying,
like
baby.
I'm in.
Right.
Yeah, if anything, I was more. The only thing I mean, yes, I was like, this couldn't happen, but I didn't care. It was more the fact of like, why is this like GI Joe where no one's getting killed? Like, people are getting innocents are getting pancaked on the street by this fucking
Yeah.
thing. No
Oh,
matter
no,
how many
cops
times.
died. They
Well, the
killed the
cops
cops.
are bad though. The cops I don't care
Man,
about.
there was that one crash where the one car entered the van, like penetrated it.
Yeah.
It was so crazy
Yeah.
looking, dude. Holy shit.
So dead.
So they're driving and they go under a bridge. That'll be important later. And they're driving. They're getting chased by all the cops. Tyrese and Han show up. They're smashing. They're making funny quips as they do it and shit.
And then they get 10 seconds of free, like,
Yeah, I already said the bridge thing. Doesn't matter. But yeah, they had 10 seconds to go to the bridge thing. Then we pop back out. We're going to go down this long bridge. For some reason, seeing everyone get murdered, Remy Zero's boss is like, let's fucking chase him, Remy Zero. Let's be on the road as well.
We gotta get these guys.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have better luck.
Should we take the sedan or should we take the car that has a Gatling gun in it?
I love
Oh,
it.
you know what? Take the Gatling.
I fucking love it.
Let's take the Gatling gun.
What
car.
a fucking weird thing. I'm just
Out of nowhere.
They got a fucking bit. Okay,
Not
cool.
set up
There's
at
a
all.
minigun.
Just introduce the element. All right, let's go.
So they race down there. They're shitting. Their things are exploding. Fucking people are getting. Finally, like, oh god, it's a bridge. And this is the one thing. In knowing how it ends, doesn't hold up. Like, why are they? Are they worried about the CBs being tapped? I
yeah,
guess
that doesn't make any sense
All
at all.
right, whatever. But there's Paul Walker's really pissed about this and scared. And then Dom's like, I'm doing it alone. No, they're doing it
It
alone.
was always the
You got a
plan.
kid now. You got a kid. And Mia's like,
It
don't do it
wasn't,
alone.
it wasn't always the plan, Dom. It wasn't always the plan because we just came up with this
He
plan
had
right
it,
now.
dude.
It was
Nah,
his
he
plan.
had it,
And so he
man.
lets go, and
Just
Paul
go.
Walker races off, and Dom spins back around. He's got the safe. Now here's where it's like, how the fuck would you do this? I'll tell you how. He's got Nas, 3 things
Hell
in
yeah.
Nas.
Hell
And so he
yes,
fucking
he
goes,
does.
and he's torquing it up, and the thing's up, and he's fucking going, and he's dodging,
that's
and
badass.
he's smashing it.
When
into
it goes
people.
up, it's just like, oh shit, he's
Yeah,
gonna go
dude.
fast.
Raw power.
He's gonna go fast. He's gonna do it.
And then we see that like where it pulls on the safe and the safe's not moving very much, but then he hits that second Nas and then it safe starts
Like,
going.
Let's go, dog.
Love it.
And so they smash into a bunch of people and kill a bunch of people, and the Gatling gun comes and he fucking turns and rolls the safe over them and fucks them up, and then people are out of their things and the cars are flipped, and then the thing goes over the side.
Violent flip, like the violent
Yeah,
whip
yeah.
around.
Yeah, so he flips his car, uses the safe to smash the Gatling gun car.
Yeah.
And then that pulls his car into the car with the bad guy in it, who then at that moment dies.
So did he
No,
jump
no,
out of
no,
Oh
his
no,
car
you're right.
too?
No, he crawls out.
Did he jump out of his car?
Yeah,
at some
he
point?
jumps out of his car here.
Yeah.
I forget in what part of the
When
thing,
it
but he
flips
jumps
over
out.
that last
Oh, it was
flip.
badass because the
Yeah, it was
car
really
looked like
cool.
it was about to go
Go off
over,
the
kind
edge,
of.
yeah.
And he just, it was badass.
So yeah, he jumps
Smooth
out.
badass.
So badass.
He jumps out.
A dumb-looking jump, though, 'cause
Remy
it's-
Zero's boss crawls out and he's hurt, and then Remy Zero comes out and has a gun. But then Paul Walker came back very quietly, and nobody saw him or cared, even though he's right behind him in the car.
Didn't hear him either.
He shoots. He shoots Remy Zero.
Yeah, Remy
Hooray.
dead.
Then The Rock rolls up with Elena. He gets out, and I think an awesome part doesn't even look at fucking Remy Zero's boss and blows him away, and is like, "That's from
Commits,
the team."
just commits murder.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
He is
they
an
murdered his.
officer of the
They
law.
murdered his fucking boys.
Not in real.
Yeah.
Not in real.
Right?
Not in real.
Yeah.
Not in real.
Could have taken him into custody.
So he
Would have been a
walks
great
over
character
there
moment
and
for The
he's
Rock.
like,
No, I'm going to
"Listen."
commit murder.
It was a great character
Yeah.
from Rock.
Yeah.
He's
That's
now
my team. That's
with
my
the
team.
team, with the
Well,
family.
not really.
Well, no, yeah. Then we get this next awesome
Then he
scene.
walks over to them and he's like, "All right, you know what? It was good. We had to even the score. It's all thing, but I still got to take you in. But you get 24 hours to run.
The
Can't
money
can't let you
stays.
take the money. All right, fine." Or he said, "I don't need the money. I'll be seeing you. No, you
No, you
won't.
won't. Yeah,
And
you
then
will.
he turns and he
Another
drives
fun-
away, and that's enough for The Rock to be. Why wouldn't I see you? And then look at the safe, and then
And it
the
just
safe's not even
magically
locked.
opens.
Safe's not
Yeah,
even
that's
locked.
very, very weird.
Yeah.
Open. Well, I just never locked it. Never put a combo on it. Yeah. And they open it up, and the safe's empty because
turn the
when
handle.
that 10
Except
minute
for all those
thing,
times they were trying to open the fucking thing
They-
for practice.
they went underneath the thing, and that's
The 10
when
seconds.
Gal was there with Luda, right? And then they put it into the thing, and they had them, and they were great. They had 2 safes. They took the safe. Everything's fine. Play some nice Rio music,
Hell
and
yeah.
The Rock laughs. Ha, ha, ha.
The most iconic ending to a Fast and Furious so far. I just fucking love it. I love that music playing. I love all the character moments we see.
Where they're all
The Rock
waiting.
laughing is just so awesome.
So fucking good.
And then and Luda gets it open, the money falls out, everybody's excited and happy, and it's such a nice ending. It's such a nice little ending.
You just get the little vignettes, everybody. You
Yeah.
know, we got the great scene
Doing
with
their
Luda and
dreams.
Tyrese with their dick measuring
The rare
contest with the
cars.
cars.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking good. But then we fucking get it. We get the scene that I lost my mind in the fucking theater with Han driving, Giselle making out with him on his lap.
dude.
And
On the
he's just
Autobahn.
like-
Yeah.
and just fucking going. It's like,
dangerous
I
ass
thought you want to
road,
go to Tokyo. We'll get there.
Oh my god!
So dope.
Cheesy.
Those two guys
So
are
cheesy.
those two guys.
good.
The
It's
two guys
so
are at a
good.
fucking thing. They're betting money. I think they lose it all. It looks like it lands on green.
Well, one of them bets on black, 10 million on black. The other one bets 10 million on red. So one of them is losing.
Well, yeah, but it goes to
That's right. It
green.
didn't look like it was going to land on green. That's a good point.
And then,
Idiots.
yeah, that's all
Such
happened.
a
And then
dumb-
we're going to catch up with Brian and Mia. She's very pregnant. Dom rolls up. He's in the linens. He's got Elena with him, who's just like, I'm finally not a cop anymore. I'm just going to wear a tank top and short shorts.
Yeah.
Cool. It's hot. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the
great.
temperature is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty too. You know?
She's
Not bad.
she's a beautiful
In the
woman.
eye socket.
They get there, hey, yay, blah, 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 and they're just bullshitting around. And then Paul Walker's like, I want a rematch here. Or whatever. Like, all right, you want to, you can take, blah, blah. Poof, and then it's the credits. And it's just the cars racing as they go through the
Fucking
credits.
good.
Then
So
the credits go for a long time, a little bit. Then they end, and then it's High Heels walking through DEA's office.
Could that be Eva Mendes from Too Fast, Too Furious?
It is too.
It is.
But I think the more crazy part is like, oh fuck, Rock is still employed.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, like, yeah, no, he said
yeah,
goodbye
again.
to this life when he started fucking letting people go. Letting people go. Like, if I'm the director of the FBI, I would be like, I don't know how we're doing it, but we're coming up with some kind of capturing mechanism. Because if we can capture Dominic Toretto and study him, we will know how to turn anyone in any conversation in any way. Because this guy just meets FBI agents and he's like,
He's the FBI whisperer.
and he's like, yeah, exactly. I know, but like Rock's still there. Like, oh, fuck,
I love to
okay.
imagine
But
that
The
Eva
Rock-
Mendes walks in and is like, we fired you. What are you doing here?
And what does she throw down? It's a file. You want to see this? He looks at, is it O'Connor or is it the Toretto? No, I don't want to see them. You will. Keep reading. And he reads through and flips page, and guess what? It's
It's
Letty.
fucking Letty. She's alive.
Do you believe in ghosts?
So cool.
I love that got Eva Mendes back for this. It's cool that she was able to kind of come do a cameo on this. I think
So
it was
weird.
fun.
But
Yeah, it was weird, but
I love
in
it.
this movie where again, it's a criticism of mine that they just throw all these people together. But I'm like, by this point in this movie, I'm like, bring back fucking everyone.
Everyone.
Bring back the
That's
kid
what
that
the point
died
of-
in the fucking what's his name, Jesse.
Oh my
Bring his
God,
ass
what if
back.
that Cyborg
Bring him
Jesse.
fucking. That's what I'm
Bring
saying,
them all
man. Let's
back.
get
Who cares
ridiculous
at this point?
Fact of the Furious here. During an on-set interview for Fast and Furious 6, Michelle Rodriguez revealed that she didn't know about the twist ending of Fast 5 until she actually saw it in theaters herself.
Did no one
that's
call her and tell her
awesome.
that she was going to be in the next movie? Was
They had
it?
it
No,
started-
I just love it.
was she written out of 4 because of contract stuff, or they just didn't want her in the movie? Like, why did they
Was it not law? I
You mean
assumed it's
written out of
it
5?
was-
Yeah, I don't know.
Written out of 5. Like, why was she not? I never figured out why that was a decision.
Anytime
made.
she's not in something, I always assume it was because she had the drunk driving incident.
Yeah, she had
that
some
got her
ins- she
kicked
had
out
some
of
problems.
Lost. So I just assumed that like that all affected her life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then they were like, "Hey, what's gonna make this movie crazier? Let's bring
Let's just fucking
someone
introduce
back
it.
from the dead."
From the goddamn dead.
After introducing this awesome lady who's now dating Tom.
Yeah,
So weird.
Yeah.
All right, Ragu Bagu.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Ragu.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast where we rank all the in-review villains. We're doing Fast and Furious right now. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the glue, Kevin Coelho, and the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're ranking the Fast 5 villains, the Toretto Gang. Where do you want to put the Toretto Gang?
Toretto gang? It's not Scorpion?
No, I mean, we've said it throughout this. They're bad
bad guys in
guys.
this.
They could have just given the shit back. They could have not stolen the car. They could have not double crossed the other guys. They're the bad guys,
mean,
killing every cop.
I feel like they've killed the most.
I'll put
people.
They committed mass
I'll put
murder.
Reyes towards the top.
Not only that, but
along with
they
the Toretto
turned
gang.
an FBI agent into a murderer.
But I love Reyes's monologue
was
about
there already.
the Spaniards and
Sure.
the
Yeah, it was
Portuguese
great.
coming
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, that was good
Brazil.
too, yeah.
That's like the one moment that we've gotten a sort of monologue that
you see-
matters and means something, I guess. I
but
really
he's-
enjoyed that.
You're gonna rank him higher than anyone else. He's on
Remember,
screen
right now,
for approximately
right
5
now
minutes in this movie.
Right now, the standings are number 1, Braga, number 2, DK, number 3, Johnny Train, number 8, Carter. So
Number
we're trying
8,
to rank
Carter.
Reyes and the Toretto gang right now, and I think it's
I
a
think
slam
it's
dunk
number
number
one.
one.
Yeah,
Slam
yeah,
dunk number
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Slam dunk.
Wait, you got wow.
Slam dunk.
I don't agree
I
at all.
disagree.
Slam
Reyes
dunk.
is in this movie for 5 minutes.
Well,
Are they
again, I'm
part of
going
this
off the
podcast,
Toretto
or-
gang, so I didn't want to put Reyes on there, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
why I listen to my co-hosts.
Monologue's cool, man.
All
the only
there-
good monologue
So then it
of
now
bad
stands
guys had in the
Reyes
whole series.
/ Toretto gang at number 1, Braga at number 2, DK at number 3, Johnny Tran at number 4, Carter still holding at 8.
Bam.
Haiku in review.
Everybody.
There's 7 syllables in the middle. You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review.
Everybody.
Haiku in review. Everybody. And then it ends.
Bronze members at patreon.com/kindafunny can write in their reviews in haiku form, and I will read them on the show just like Matt Rohrbeck
And
did.
again, not all of them are going to get read.
Oh,
right?
no.
Yeah,
No, I'm going to choose a couple highlights here, I would say. Matt Rohrbeck writes, Avengers of Fast. The whole family is here. This movie slaps hard. It's true.
I agree.
Vince Patel says, Rock is sweaty. Nobody misses Letty. Han eats all damn day.
That's good. That's really good.
Tyler Drummond says, turning point for Fast. Dom and fam, if you smell what? The Rock is cooking. Not a big fan of the use of the syllables there. But,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll let it pass, Tyler.
Clay Harden says, piece of life advice. Don't fucking run from the Rock or he'll sweat on you.
So sweaty.
He's so moist.
Andrew Mendoza says, man, Han is so cool. Damn, so many people dead. Why is Hobbs so wet?
So wet.
Andy K says, how is Han this cool? They dragged that vault with 2 cars. No, for real. How though? And then there's a lot of mentioning of the Rock being wet.
Got it.
Blackjack writes in and says, Fast 5 for $5. The Rock sweating profusely. Tyrese still hungry. He is hungry. He's always hungry.
I did like that he said it. He's hungry. Are we hungry again?
Finally, Jack Clark says, the good or bad news, you know I like dessert first. Give me the veggies.
Yeah.
Such a great
line, The Rock.
line. Oh, man.
I love it.
So goddamn good. Now it's time to rank the Fast and the Furious universe. Current rankings are number 1, Fast and Furious 4. Number 2, Tokyo Drift. Number 3, The Fast and the Furious. Number 4, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, real quick, don't take it off screen. I like that we were like, so never talk about spoilers in the future movies. This is clearly a shot from Fast 6 because there's Michelle Rodriguez off to the side, not dead, and this has been up since number 1.
That's all wallpaper, too.
Yeah, well, I know, but then you tried to confuse me with it when you were telling us. Anyways,
you can't see Michelle Rodriguez.
so haiku and fuck you. How about that?
Damn.
Damn.
Go
thumb
You make a
yourself.
graphic.
What is
shit,
happening?
bitch.
I think
you know
it's
what?
number 1.
Fucking
I think this movie's
Hands down.
fantastic. I
Hands
love the
down.
character dynamics. I think the action scenes are great. I feel like so far they are the best action scenes. I know that they're not my favorite action scenes going forward.
Yeah.
And I wish that certain things were a bit more ridiculous. This movie, I feel like, is the first time that they really are like, we know what
They
we
started
are.
letting go.
Yeah, they started letting go. But they didn't fully let go.
This is my biggest problem with the movie is I we'll go back and watch 6 obviously next week, and I'm very excited for that because that's when they go full on Fast and Furious. This one's too much stuck in the past and stuck in the future for me. Like it's too much of a combination of this is ridiculous, but also trying to be grounded. And I just don't think it works.
I just don't feel like it's
Second
trying to be
viewing, I'm like, it
grounded.
has some of the best action sequences, but none of it makes sense. There are no stakes. There's zero character development in this at all.
There's so much character development.
What's the character
All of the
development?
characters.
What?
The
I don't know if you know
all
what
of the
development means. They
friendships.
don't do anything. They don't change
They
from the
develop
point.
friendships.
They're Dom Toretto, Paul Walker, Jordana Brewster, all of them are exactly the same at the beginning of the film as they are at the end.
No,
That's
they
it.
have
The
money.
only person that-
and one's pregnant.
The only person that changes at all is The Rock for 1 second and then goes back. There's no stakes to this. We really don't give a shit if Reyes wins or loses or if they kill him at all. He could have just been fucking. It doesn't matter. None of this
Reyes
matters.
sucks.
It's all about just getting from action sequence to action sequence, and it's unfortunate because
That's what this series is.
my big, not really, because in Fast 4, which we put at number 1, actually has really poignant scenes with these characters that you give a shit about.
That's
and
true.
this one was just, hey, we're gonna put all these characters on screen. Like, wow, that's a wow factor, and they don't really do anything fun until the very end of the movie. That's so outrageously ridiculous that you're like, what the fuck is happening here? None of this makes sense. I was bored for 40 minutes of this movie in the middle. The beginning, the end, I'm like, these are great, but I could have literally got up, gone shopping, come back and watched this movie. It would have been the same impact for me.
The
I would put
middle
this
is my
movie
favorite part.
I put this movie right above The Fast and Furious, number 3.
My thing is, I'm not as entrenched as Nick is, I think, in being angry at it. Not angry, but you know what I mean.
I think I was just bored. I was just bored.
I was never bored in it. I did think, man, that's a long movie. I did, however, enjoy the ride. I did enjoy the things. And I do, this is very much cheating because I think it is awesome. This was so cool to see all the different movies come together and have them actually be united, which you don't have without the other movies that come before it. I think on a given day, yeah, I might argue that I think Fast and Furious 4 should be above it because of the fallback, the conversations. But today's not that day. Like I'm saying, I can see where Nick's coming from. Of like, I do think the Paul Walker Vin moments, the Mia moments with Brian, and even Vin in 4 were all really powerful and really really cool.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy this, especially as we're talking about literally. This is the Fast and Furious franchise taking off into what it is.
This is Fast and Furious becoming Looney Tunes. This is Fast and Furious, the beginning of them all becoming superheroes.
This is the foundation, for
I
sure.
totally agree with that, and that's where the series spoilers. The series is going to go from here on out. Right, we're getting it gets crazier
bigger,
and crazier
bigger,
set
bigger.
pieces, more ridiculous things. I forgot how this could like Fast 4 to me is actually a legitimately kind of like well structured, well plotted out movie. It comes along at a good pace. It's just as long as it needs to be. Fun action sequences, a bad guy that you actually legitimately are like, I don't like this guy. He's kind of scary. He's smarter than everyone else. We got to overcome him. And I just think it's a better overall like insular story from start to finish. Fast 5, it could have been, if it was an hour and 45 minutes, I'd have been like, okay, I'm along for this
guess,
fun factor.
Like I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
But
I
210.
guess
Actually, I watched the 211 version. Maybe that's my biggest problem. I watched the extended cut. That was 1 minute longer.
1 minute longer.
One whole
You
minute
gotta
longer. And I was
fucking
like,
love it.
I should have watched the other one.
So hold on real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. I vote Fast 5 is my number 1. I have to go to the airport and go host dice. So bye.
Cool.
Bye.
Have fun. I feel like my problem is you're right, where I feel like Fast 4 works just as a standalone movie of just that better than this works as a standalone movie. And honestly, not even by that much, because I do think this works by itself. But my problem is, I think Fast and Furious 4 is just, it's not a great Fast and Furious movie. I think it's the least Fast and Furious that we've seen so far. And at the end of the day, then it's just a fine movie. There's nothing special about it.
I think
it does have a story that makes sense. It does have characters that make sense, but it's like, who gives a shit? It's not great. It's not amazing. Whereas I feel like everything that I like about Fast and Furious and what makes it a special series wasn't in 4, is in 5. It is like we're starting to see the special spectacle moments that we didn't get in 4.
The spectacle moments and the characters from separate movies that are finally meeting each
Coming
other
together,
for the first
yeah.
time.
Being
Yeah, but my
And
biggest
this is
problem
where
is the
they're-
spectacle moments are awesome, and they're awesome in 6 when they have payoff because you actually care about what's happening with the characters and there's big stakes. And if I remember 6 correctly, which I'm sure I do, there's a lot more heart in that and a lot more like actual things that you give a shit about. In this movie, it's just who cares? Who cares about any of this? So when we get to those spectacle moments, like that's great. It's peanut butter and jelly, but I'm not even hungry.
It just seems like a movie for you. Like you love shitty action movies. That's what this whole thing is.
I like shitty action
movies.
movies.
This is a mindless sort of like.
But you have to give me something to care about. And like the biggest problem with this is just nothing makes any sense. There's nothing at stake here. Who cares? Who cares if they get the money or not? They could just leave Rio. And this guy's he's not fucking Pablo Escobar. He's got a little bit of money. He's not going to go if you're in Germany, he's not going to come find you in Germany. Just fucking get the fuck out. Who cares?
Yeah,
in 6, they're being hunted by a much bigger thing, and that makes more sense. They can't go anywhere. They have to fight this guy. In this one, it's just like, leave. Who cares?
The moment for this for me was where the Rock finally sees their side of it. The whole time he thinks that they are the people that killed these DEA agents, and this
Well, he doesn't care. Like that. I
mean,
feel like
but-
that's kind of thrown in your front. Like he's just doing his job,
Right.
And it
Yeah.
was the moment where like his whole team has been taken out,
and they save him.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the moment where he turns and sees, oh, yes, they're criminals, but they aren't totally like, they can be redeemed in some sort, or maybe I can be redeemed. Like I see this sort of like Paul Walker's moment where like maybe I'm the bad guy who's trying to act like whatever. Like I just love that this is the moment where The Rock finally turns and like kind of like, hey, I'm coming after you, but also good shit, dog.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And it's so hard to talk about this without going into the future.
Yeah.
But just keeping it to this, like The Rock's fucking amazing. I love him. This is definitely my least favorite role of his.
Me too.
That we see because he's a bad guy, and it's like it's
Well,
more fun having him be a good guy with them.
I don't want to get into this, and this is why I'm very much looking forward to 6. Is at some point The Rock in this movie, The Rock is Hobbs. He's Luke Hobbs. He's playing Luke Hobbs, hardcore FBI guy, ex-soldier, whatever. In later iterations of this, and I don't want to spoil anything for people, he's just The Rock.
Yeah.
And he's just having
So
a fun
good.
time.
It's so
and he's
good.
chewing fucking scenery in the back, and he's having a great and I think he got to know the people a little bit more, so their character dynamics are a lot better. And that's when we get into the like I say, like I'm very excited to watch 6 because 6 is where they go full blown like fuck it, nothing matters anymore. You're getting Looney Tunes. This is what this
But
is.
and I think that they can do that in 6 because 5 does such a good job bringing. And this is my favorite thing about 5 is that it brings together what seems like 3 different series, like movies, and like starts using stuff from the previous movies where there's so many lines where like like Tyrese is talking to Ludacris about some joke. This is why you you're still crashing when he's crashing the art, and that's a throwback to the fact that like he crashed before 2, and that's why he doesn't race anymore.
It's mostly fan service, and that's the thing. Like
But
this is setting up a lot of fan service, and I'll wholeheartedly
Which
agree
builds.
that every other movie going from this point on is 100% fan service, and that's what Fast and Furious
Brilliant.
means.
Keep doing
I watched this, and I was just a little disappointed watching this because coming off of 4. Where we do have that great scene where they're sitting and having dinner, and you're like, fuck, these guys just don't know how to communicate with each other. There's too much history here. Can they ever forgive each other? Where are we going? And then the Letty stuff, and he's like, she was doing it for you. Like, all that stuff had so much more heart. In this, we get the most heart we get in this is Vin Diesel giving the speech, which was great, and then
Right.
kind of smiling. We were like,
Well,
that's
we
pregnancy
also
scene.
we also
I think
get
them
this
telling them telling Vin Diesel, we're pregnant, and then him, and you're wondering how does Vin feel
Yeah,
about
how does he
this?
react?
And he walks up
do you
and
think he's
does
gonna
the
feel about
double hug and is like, the family just grew a little bit. Like, I love that moment. I think
There's
it's a great
also a
moment.
scene that we totally ignored, which is Brian sitting with Dom.
Oh, right.
Where he's like,
The dad
hey,
scene.
what do you remember about your dad? Because I don't remember shit about mine.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. And it builds to the
But-
scene where Dom untethers Brian
Yeah.
and he's like, go. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to be there for your kid. And, like, that is strong. And I thought,
I agree
it's
with
just,
that.
I see
think it's
that.
yeah, we
I see
glossed
that.
over it because there's so much fucking action that's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we glossed over it because there's a lot of scenes that they put in there for fan service that cluttered everything up, and that's my big. I guess that's the big problem I have in this is that there are those moments, but they're just so spaced out with all this other stuff with this plan that should have been 5 minutes of the movie, but ended up being 30 minutes of the movie. That it just doesn't. It's just a hodgepodge of stuff.
I just
and
think
that scene would have been more point. You're right, but I totally forgot about that scene. By the time we get to that bridge sequence, I'm like, what? This was always the plan.
And we
that
also
doesn't
have
make any sense.
We also have the scene where Dom is fighting The Rock, and The Rock calls him out for just being like, "You're just some guy with a fucking wrench that beats other
Yeah,
dudes."
but that doesn't make any sense because we've already established that The Rock's more than that, or that Vin Diesel's more than that in the other
But
movies.
that's
like, we
him
get that he's
prove-
not. That was Brian's biggest problem with him too. Everyone's like, "This guy's a killer," and then Brian, we already learned that Dom is not that.
But
so having The Rock be have that
But The
problem,
Rock,
it's like this is stupid.
The
He's
Rock
not
doesn't know that. Like that's him showing, like, all right, you're right. I could kill you right now, but I'm giving in to keep my family safe
Sure.
and have me taken in.
But he also just had this brutal fight with him, so I'm sure The Rock was like, "Oh, I guess this guy really does show some restraint, even though he just fucking pushed me through walls."
Man,
They're
and the
pushing each other through
The
walls,
scene
man.
where I think it's The Rock getting thrown through a window into a table, and the table just fucking explodes.
Yeah.
So dope.
Every
So
every
good,
splinter
yeah.
just exploded.
This franchise to me is only great because of fan service, and I feel like this is the movie that
They
brings
understand
that
that,
together,
yeah.
and they start
It's true.
acting
But
in that way.
Yeah, and that's why. And like, I'll totally, I forgive a lot of the sins of this movie because of what it does for 6. 6 is, spoilers, this is one of my favorites. Hopefully, I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm
We'll
pretty
see,
sure I'm gonna
yeah.
love it. Pretty sure I'm gonna love it. But like, that's the thing. Like, to me, this is half in the past, half in the future. And you're right. Like, it does, you got to give it credit for that. But I'm just disappointed that like. I like the half that's in the future. I'm disappointed with the half that's in the past.
The scene where they all come together is so fucking.
I just
so,
look over at Joey. Joey's like,
so great, so magical. But it's one of those things where it needed to be midway through the movie. But I am again disappointed that we didn't get the group together until halfway through the movie, and that's why I'm excited for 6 because it's
Yeah.
actually the team together from start to end.
Yeah, by no means I think this is like a perfect movie. Like I do
No,
think
it's
it
not.
was too long.
But it's so far.
but
like,
I love
yeah.
it more than all the other ones
right,
so much
exactly.
more.
Out of the 4 movies that to come,
Yeah.
like this one has the best action, and like I like the building it has between like the different
family
groups.
growing.
Yeah.
All right, so
This is my number
voting
one.
goes: is it better than Too Fast, Too Furious? Raise your hand. All of us say yes.
Yes.
Is it better than Tokyo Drift? Raise your hand.
Yes.
Everyone except Nick raises their hand. Is it better than Fast 4? Everyone.
I don't think it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone except Nick, raise your hand. Our new ranking of the Fast and the Furious: number 1, Fast 5. Number 2, Fast and Furious. Number 3, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Number 4, Too Fast, Too Furious. Did I fuck that up?
I stopped.
know.
Number
listening.
4 is The Fast and the Furious, and then number 6 is that doesn't make sense. We haven't watched 6 movies.
Let's see. Number 1 is Fast 5. Number 2 is Fast and Furious 4. Number 3 is Tokyo Drift. Number 4, The Fast and Furious. And rounding out, number 5 is Too Fast, Too Furious.
And that includes Greg Miller's vote. Who
Yeah,
also
Greg
put
voted
it
for number 1.
Yeah.
I got outvoted. I just wanted
Next.
to make a case.
Next movie that you guys got to watch is Fast and Furious 6, aka Furious 6. Never fucking forget, the title screen of the movie says Furious
They
6.
just backed off that so hard. And it was
It's
a
weird.
terrible
And
Why?
choice.
Why?
On the
Any
disc, it
choice.
just says Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah, and I don't understand. When the trailer first showed, it said Furious 6, and they're like, Fast, and then they called 7 Furious 7?
Again,
What?
I think that. Again, I think that they were like, we don't like. I think even the people making this movie were like, we don't get that this movie is about fan service. And someone did, and they were like, no, we gotta call it Furious 6. And then some execs were like, well, we can't call it that. People who have never seen this movie aren't gonna. I'm like, you don't understand, dude. This movie is just has an install base that are gonna see this no matter what you call it, and this is awesome.
Well, Justin Lin was writing 6, and then he was also like, I'm also writing 7, but they're more mad in 7.
So, yeah, they're
we can't.
furious.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Furious, sir.
Until next week.
Drive safe. Greg Miller. Have a safe flight.